Frankie has turn 1, by the way.
So guys, welcome back to Hellstormwargaming. Welcome to the London Grand Tournament, 40k Grand Tournament, the Invitational Knockout Tournament.
How many more times can you say tournament?
I don't know. I don't want to try. I don't want to find out. My name's Mikey.
My name's Elliot.
Or should I say, my name's Lionel Brarian.
My name's Drew Carey.
Feral Sight. I'm Drew Carey.
I've been numerous Warhammer aliases.
Yes, this is true.
I just pick and choose.
Yeah, we are your hosts for today's game, so I hope everyone's well. We've got Tank shuffling about with lists, but
Ruined all my papers.
This is the list we need.
I forgot someone's name and I'm embarrassed.
Thanks, Tank. So we are bringing you all of the hot 40k action from the London Grand Tournament all the weekend. This is currently round 2 of the knockout tournament. It started with 32 players. We're now down to only 16. 16 players. We're going to be covering 2 tables every round. We have 3 more rounds today. This is round 2. We've got round 3 and 4 coming up, and then round 5 will be tomorrow in the evening for the final.
Just to add artificial suspense.
Yes, 24 hours of.
Yeah.
So we're covering 2 tables today. We have 2 interesting guests. Well, on one table, and 2 interesting guests on the other.
I think it's going to be a day of interesting guests.
It is,
Yeah.
but in particular, right now we have on. Let's call it table 1.
Table 1.
It's not actually table 1, but there you go. We have Innes Wilson from the Scottish European Team Champions.
Scottish English.
It's the same thing, isn't it? Freedom and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have Innes from Team Scotland from the ETC versus Frankie Giampapa from Frontline Gaming. He probably wrote the ITC rules back with Reese, probably, maybe, because FLG wrote this mission pack.
So Elliot,
and
sorry
they
to
are from
interrupt,
FLG. And then on table 2, controversially, we
Frankie won the
have Joshua
role
Death
and
versus
asked Innes to play
Mr.
first.
Team Box. We have Team Box on table 2.
Team Box.
Team Box is a personal trainer. I'm sure Steve is a personal trainer. He might not like that, but there you go.
Maybe nutritionalist.
Maybe he's a
We're not sure
nutritionist.
which one.
We're not sure. You need to mute Toby. 1 second. Toby's joined the chat. Player 3 has entered the game. Sorry about that, guys. So we're back. We're back being professional. Toby's gone. They're going to do an arm wrestle. All right, well, let's just cut straight to table 2. So we have table 2. This is Joshua Death versus Mr. Stephen Box, Mr. Team Box. They're going to do an arm wrestle to start. Okay, they've sat in the corner I can't see. Tank, move them to the other corner. Yeah, there we go. So they're going to do an arm wrestle on stream to start off round 2.
This is good.
This is content,
This
everybody.
is Steve's his trick, isn't it?
This is it. He just beats everybody at arm
He does
wrestles.
arm wrestles.
Yeah. So we have Joshua Death on the left, and then Steve on the right. Where are they? Ah, because. Yes. This is ridiculous.
Good lord.
So, can we also mute Elliot lol? You want to mute Elliot? Why?
That's just cruel.
That's just cruel.
That is just cruel.
So we can kind of see it happening. So we have Mr. Stephen Box on its back, and then yeah, go for it. We're watching. Everyone's watching. You got 100 people watching this arm
Is this
wrestle
what
now.
we're going to commentate on?
Yeah. So
my money's on.
Are you ready?
Steve.
My money's on Steve as well.
Sorry, Josh.
So Josh is laughing, so that's not a good start. Tank's being the judge.
In before table collapses.
Oh my god. Can we see it at the top down? Here we go. So I'm going to go top down. It's not a great view, but there you go. There we go. Steve won the arm wrestle. Look at the camera shake. Look at the camera shake, boys. So where they're actually playing Warhammer, let's cut to table 1.
Right, so
on table 1 we have Innes Wilson versus Frankie Giampapa. They are both using super cool armies. So Innes is using White Scars versus Frankie and Genes to the Cults, as you can tell, because they're just blips everywhere and nothing else. So it looks like Innes is going first. Annoyingly, the CP left is not working. So the CP left is incorrect, but they both start with 18 CP. Shall we talk about their lists? Shall we talk about Warlord traits first? Shall we talk about Frankie first?
Let's talk about Frankie. So Frankie has brought 2 relics. has brought 2 relics. Is that close enough?
Maybe.
Right, okay. He is running a Vigilus detachment as well, although Toby is deemed not to tell us which Vigilus detachment, just that there is a Vigilus detachment.
So we're using the Anointed Throng detachment.
Okay.
Oh no, it's the Deliverance Brood Surge. I apologise. So there you go, Deliverance Brood Surge. That's the
Thanks,
detachment.
Toby. So the Warlord trait also gives him +3 CP.
Yep.
And that's it. He doesn't.
Yeah, you got 2 on that roll, didn't you? For the +3 CP.
I believe he got a 3, didn't he?
You got 2. Yeah. So in Frankie's list, he has triple battalions at 18 CP. In the first battalion, it is Rusted Claw. He has a Jackal Alphas and a Patriarch, and then 3 units of Brood Brothers Infantry Squad, which are basically just guardsmen.
Yep.
And they're Kellamorph, and then he has 3 units of bikes. 12 bikes, 10 bikes, and 12 bikes.
Wow.
So 2 mining lasers in there, which are basically like mini las cannons.
Yep.
And then they have demolition charges, which are basically melter bombs. So there's 5 of each in 2 of the units and none in the other. And then we have a second battalion, which is a Rusted Claw as well. So he has a Icon Ward, a Patriarch, 3 units of Brood Brothers again. And then he has a third battalion, which is 4-armed Emperor, which is a Deliverance Brood Surge. He has an Acolyte Icon Ward, a Primus, Brood Brothers, and then 2 units of 20 Acolyte Hybrids with 8 heavy rock saws, and then another Kellamorph. So he has some demo charges on bikes, which are super fast moving for grabbing objectives and also blowing stuff up. And then he has 2 big units of hybrids, which are toughness 3 with a 4-up save, but they've got 8 rock saws, which are like strength 10 -4, 2 damage, and with like 4 attacks each.
They're a very nasty army, Gene Stealer Cult, aren't they?
They're not very fun. I wouldn't like to run into them.
I'm not saying they're not fun, but like, yeah.
Can you imagine running into them while drunk on a night out? You just won't like it.
Well, you would. You'd hate it for 10 minutes, and then after about 10 minutes of having your jeans stolen, you'd feel very happy about it all.
So then he's against Innis Wilson, which is White Sky. Should I talk about his Warlord traits and stuff? Do you want to tell me what's happening?
Yeah, so he's
Box Fresh Magic the Gathering. Thank you for following. Box Fresh, Team Box.
Team Box. So he's taken the reroll charge Warlord trait.
Yeah.
His Chapter Master has the Saiga Eagle helmet.
Okay. Do you know what that does?
I did know what that did, and I do have it written down somewhere.
Does it ignore Overwatch or Overwatch on 5?
It lets him Overwatch on 5.
There we go.
Right, okay. And his Phobos has +3. Phobos Captain, I believe. I'm not sure on the list.
Yeah. I'm sure he has a Phobos Captain. Captain in Phobos armor, there we go. And he has the Instigator Bolt Carbine.
So he has a Warlord trait to +3 to his auras.
Very nice. So obviously denying that, because we're not using the errata, it's denying the Deep Strike within 15, which is going to be really good for Gene Stealer Cults. And also, re-roll hit rolls of 1 within 9 rather than 6. So he has a triple battalion also, loads and loads of models. He has a Lieutenant with a jump pack, Librarian with a jump pack, who has Storm Reaved, which is your favourite power that never goes off. Do you remember that one? Denies Overwatch. And then Ride the Winds, which lets a unit move, I think.
Yeah.
And then he has 2 units of scouts and an intercessor squad with Stalker bolt rifles, which are essentially the pseudo snipers. And then he has a chaplain with a jump pack. This is a super cheeky smash cap, the new hotness for smash captains.
No, nothing shy of a true Blood Angel smash captain is worth having.
No, but he's really good.
That's my opinion.
And then he has a captain in Phobos armor. As I said, he's going to be his warlord.
Yep.
And they've got 3 units of intercessors with bolt rifles and a chainsaw on the sergeant. 3 eliminator squads, or with 2 bolt sniper rifles and an instigator bolt carbine.
What did you call them?
Bolt sniper rifles.
No, the other part.
Eliminator.
I thought you said laminator.
Laminators, yeah.
A laminator squad.
3 units of 9.
Brother, everything will be covered in perspex.
3 units of 3 laminators. So the bolt carbines are sniper rifles, which ignore line of sight or have heavy duty rounds. But the instigator bolt carbine, which what it is when that model fires Overwatch, the unit it's attached to can move.
Wow, okay.
So he fires Overwatch and then moves 6 inches.
So it instigates a move.
Yeah, which is really good. So he has 3 units of that, and then he has a captain with a jump pack, Thunderhammer Storm Shield, captain with a jump pack, Thunderhammer Storm Shield, 3 units of scouts with bolt guns and chainsaw on the sergeant, 6 aggressors with the bolters, a Thunderfire cannon, and 2 whirlwinds. So loads of models. So many models. Yes, indeed. So that is table 1.
Yeah.
So they are just, I think Innis is just...
In terms of updates for the tables, because that's where we are. So on table 1 with Innis and Frankie.
Yeah.
Frankie did actually win the roll-off, but decided for Innis to go first. So Innis will deploy first.
Right, okay. So that's why he just chucked all these blips down and then Innis gets first turn.
Exactly. Table 2, Josh won. And likewise, he picked Steve to go first. So
interesting.
Both
Going for the
tables,
second turn.
yeah.
Yeah.
People who won the roll-offs decided to go second.
Yep, and there's no C's rolls in this, so it's just whoever sets up first goes first. So if you get forced to set up first, might be bad. So before we cut to table 2, why don't we get a cheeky update of the rest of the, 6 tables actually? Yeah. 6 tables from Tank, our copyright honest wargamer, roving reporter.
Hello, everyone. Yep, more manageable amount of tables now, just 6 for me to look at. So we've got Nick Nanavati versus Boris Mitchev. Nick with his GSC, Boris with his Orc Smasher Gun gunline. Nick won the roll to go first, and he's given Boris first turn, as GSC players do. Boris is pushing out his screens at the minute. He's not going to have anything to shoot, as Nick's got everything either off the table or hidden. Conrad has won the roll to go first against Reese Robinson with his Eldar flyer list. Conrad's chosen to go first. There's been no shots fired yet. A bit of an insight into his list. Conrad told me that his list is bad, and he says it kills things very well, but it can't score, so he's not very confident with it. Mark Crumblehome is playing George White. Mark Crumblehome with Drukari and Harlequins, George White with Knights and some Punisher tank commanders. Mark won the roll to go first, and he's currently shooting Knights with Haywire and Disintegrator cannons, and I'll let you know how much damage he does shortly. James McKenzie once again won the roll to go first, and he's done the Gene Stealer cult thing of giving Rickard Nielsen with his Knight and Admech the first turn, and he's hiding. Rickard's pushing out with his screens. He has got some line of sight ignoring shooting, I think, with the Scorpius tanks, but he's going to struggle to shoot a lot with James's army, so it'll just be a case of how well Rickard can screen there. Malik Rubio is going first with his very aggressive Imperium tank gunline against Bernard Lee's Knights and Guard. So with the deployment, there's not a lot of places to hide for those, so I think that could be quite a violent game. I'll let you know what goes on there. And Joe Milam with his Drukari is playing Simon Pridis' Tau. Joe won the roll to go first, and he's taken it. He's pushed his units into the midboard in a ball, sort of hugging the L's in the middle, and he was firing a few shots, and I'll let you know how that goes shortly. So I'll send you back over to Mikey and Elliot.
Thank you very much, Tank, for that quick update about all the other tables that are happening today. This is round 2 of the Invitational Knockout Tournament at the London Grand Tournament, stream hosted by The Honest Wargamer and sponsored by Badman Cafe. They made this stream possible, so thank you for them. So that was a quick update of all the other tables. We also streaming table 2, the duck table. Yeah.
I've just had some word from them, so not a lot's happening. They're having a bit of an admin session. I think it's turned into an office space, and there just seems to be lots of erratas and FAQs being passed around the table. We
do have Judge James keeping a close eye on everything that's happening on this table. So this is Joshua Death versus Stephen Box. I apologise about the scores on screen. I'm just going to have to quickly sort that out now. Because we're using ITC battles to keep track of the score. But it looks like some of the crops have gone a bit funky, because when you put a different name in, it screws everything up, which is always great. So there you go. So Stephen Box is using Space Marines, and Joshua Death is also using Space Marines. So Steve is using a pure Ultramarines list, I believe. I've got his list somewhere. Yeah, so Steve is using pure Ultramarines. He has Marnius Calgar, Lieutenant, Chief Librarian Tigerius, with Mighty Heroes, Null Zone and Psychic Fortress. Then he has 2 units of Scouts and a unit of 10 Intercessors, a unit of 5 and a unit of 3 Aggressors with a Repulsor. And then he has another Spearhead. He has a Chaplain, Thunderfire Cannon, Eliminators, Leviathan. The Leviathan is here, everyone.
Oh, my Leviathan shot!
My Leviathan! So Leviathan with twin storm cannons and 2 missiles versus Joshua Death, who has a Soupy Space Marine list.
Yep.
He has a Crimson Fist Specialist Detachment, which is the Indomitus Crusaders. So he has a Captain, a Primaris Lieutenant, a unit of 6 Intercessors with bolt rifle, the Stalker bolt rifles, a unit of 10 Intercessors with Power Fist and bolt rifles, and a unit of 10 with bolt rifles and Power Fist. And then he has a Supreme Command of White Scar, which is a chaplain with the Litany of Hate, Mantra of Strength. Combi Melter Jump Pack, who's the Warlord. Do we know what his Warlord trait is for Joshua?
For the chaplain?
Yeah. If not, we can find out.
Did have it on the other sheet.
There we go. So what's his Warlord trait for today?
Warlord trait. Mantra of Strength, chaplain, Master of Snares.
Master of Snares, so that's the one where you can't leave combat.
On a 4+, yeah.
Yes, indeed. So we've got that. We've got Librarian in Phobos Armor, we've got Librarian on bike. And then we have an Imperial Fist successor, Master Artisans and Stealthy. So they're going to be cover save over 12 inches. Master Artisans, I think it's reroll hits of reroll 1 hit, 1 wound, 1 damage. So then he's got 2 Tech Marines, Tactical Squad with a missile launcher, Tactical Squad with a melter gun, Tactical Squad with a melter gun, a Relic Whirlwind Scorpius, a Venerable Dreadnought with 2 twin autocannons, and 3 Hunters, which are super cheap, toughness 8 anti-air thingies. Nobody uses until now.
So, just to add to that,
hello.
In terms of psychic powers, Josh is using the Mind Raid Phobos power, and also Temporal Corridor.
So Mind Raid is where you can choose a character and steal CP off him. Yep. And Temporal Corridor, you choose a Phobos unit and you can move again.
Filthy. And then the Librarian on the bike, the White Scar, is using Ride the Winds and Storm Reeve. Storm Reeve obviously being the
cheeky one.
Yes, the one where you can't be overwatched against.
Yeah, so you can't be overwatched, and Ride the Winds is move.
And move, it's believed it's +2 to charge and advance.
Yeah, and you do mortal wounds in combat as well on the charge.
Perfect.
And you ignore Overwatch, which is the big one.
So we talked about the chaplain. He's the Warlord. He's got the Master of Snares and the Mantra of Strength.
Yeah.
There was a couple of CPs spent at the start of the game.
Okay.
So we've got the Grey Shield strategy.
Yep. So that's where you choose another chapter tactic for your a unit that's in that detachment. So it's on the lieutenants. That's a Warlord trait. Right, okay. The Grey Shield ability lets you choose a second chapter tactic.
It doesn't say which one, though.
Scarcast just subscribed. Thank you very much, you absolute legend. I really appreciate that, bro. Do you have much else from that table?
We've got a 10-man into. No, we've got a couple of CPs been spent. 10-man intercessor squad. It says CP was spent for.
Okay. So he'll be spending a CP to basically make that unit veterans.
Right. Okay.
So that what that means is they gain a keyword, they gain an extra attack.
And the 7-man stalker.
7-man stalker. So basically they get an extra keyword and they get an extra attack. So the keywords they get, because the stratagems haven't been written out because they're not using the FAQ because it released too late, it means for 1 CP he can use rapid fire on his intercessors to double the shots, and also on the stalker bolt rifles he can spend a CP to turn him into sniper rifles essentially, so he can target characters and does a mortal wound on a 6. So very, very cheeky.
Yeah.
Very cheeky.
Stevens, this is more my speed, so he's taken Null Zone, Might Heroes, Veil of Time.
Sure.
On Tigerius. Yeah. And obviously Calgar is the Warlord because he has the biggest muscles in the Imperium.
It also gives him 2 extra CP as well.
So quite simple, Steve's admin, pre-game admin.
Yeah.
Josh is a lot more heavy on it, but...
There you go, that's just how the list works.
Yeah, exactly.
Marines are on another level at the minute, so
yeah.
Back off, Marine players. But yeah, I apologise, I'm just about to cut to the top-down view is going to change slightly, but it's just so we can see that it's the same corner. We can see like a different angle of what you guys can see. So we have Steve setting up... oh yeah, I need to flip that once more, I apologise. It's because the camera was upside down, I didn't realise. So,
just going to table 1, at the start, obviously with it being GSC, in turn 1, Frankie null deployed essentially. They're just putting your little blips down for the GSC and not deploying anything else.
Yeah.
Innis did fail his litany.
Which is the recitation of focus.
The recitation of focus.
+1 to hit against the nearest unit.
Of course. And Frankie did choose to spend, I believe it was C3P. 3 command points.
So, just log back in. Who are we watching? We've got Frankie Giampapa from FLG versus Innis Wilson, and Stephen Box, Team Box from Vanguard Tactics versus Joshua Death. So 2 tables being covered today. We're
still in the turn 1 shooting phase. Frankie did spend some command points, use a stratagem to put 1 unit of bikes and 2 units of acolytes back into reserve.
Yeah, so basically they can come back on at any turn. So the reason it just just K91. The reason it's only going to cost 1 is because they aren't using the errata to the specialist detachments because it came out too late. So those detachments and CPs are still in play currently. So they're using any questions that are answered, but any erratas that physically changed rules, they aren't using this weekend. So drop pods can come in after turn 3. Sergeant Cronus can still take up any warlord trait he likes. And then, yeah, that's it. Yeah. So it's weird, we understand that, but like it's too late, so what can you do?
It is what it is. Yeah. So it's quite slow at the moment on the tables. These things tend to wind up, you get about an hour in, it's hectic and you don't know what's going on and there's dice flying everywhere. Yeah. So the first sort of 15-20 minutes are always quiet. Yes. On table 2, Stephen has put 5 aggressors in his repulsor.
Yeah, I believe he's telling all of his the people who personal trains, because he's not a nutritionist, he's a personal trainer. He's telling everybody about how. Can we get him on the second view?
Team box.
Level up. Maybe get him on the second view. He's doing a live Instagram update, so there you go. It's a double live. It's a cross streams, so there you go.
Behind the live.
Behind the live. Where can we buy them? Neoprene 6-inch round objective markers. So they were from GameMat.eu actually. So Matus Hushlek, who's here this weekend, has come and said hello, but they're from him. So we'll be getting more in stock soon, I think. But also we're planning on stocking some with our logo on because we like that. You know, if we can see a cool product,
we'll like that as human beings.
Yes, if we can see something that's a cool product, we'll put a logo on it and then we'll have some as well. So
why not? They're not patented. There you go.
Oh, Steve's checking the codex. That means something very important's happening. It looks very intense. So let's not look at that. Let's go into Frankie's game. So Frankie has decided to deploy his army now, being a Dean Steeler cult player. He gets to decide when he does that. So, yes,
no, I suppose I'll play 40k.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, so the snare trait on flies is horrific, but it is in play, so because it wasn't changed. So it is. So basically what the Master of Snares stops a unit disengaging if he rolls a 4+. But because a flyer has a minimum move, he must move or he dies. And if you lock it in combat, it will just die. So, hello from the Lake District, and thanks for keeping me entertained at work. Appreciate it, bro. We're coming live at you from London, in London.
The capital.
The capital.
The capital.
Capital L on it as well.
Capital.
Because it's the name.
Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
So Innis has killed, on table 1 this is,
yeah.
Innis has killed 4 bikes in the shooting phase so far.
That's not bad, to be fair. There's quite a lot of bikes.
There is a lot of bikes, but I mean, you need to chew through them. So
they are. I'm surprised they've been able to shoot, to be fair. But there you go. Sometimes that happens. Let's go back to top down on table 1 because this is where the action's happening.
So we're in the middle of their shooting phase at the moment.
Yes, Innis is turn 1.
Innis is turn 1. Yeah. So obviously Frankie did win the roll off, but elected for Innis to go first. Mm-hmm. So Innis is in the middle of his shooting phase, needs to do some good damage to the Dean Steeler cult before it winds up.
It's now or never.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad Elliot is a co-host. He's a hoot.
Oh, thank you very much.
You're a hoot.
I'm a
You're
hoot.
a nice owl.
I'm an owl.
Owl.
Oh! It was the least owly noise I've ever made.
Where is this tournament again? I don't know if you knew, but this is in London, in England.
The city of London.
On Earth. Terror.
Are we in the city of London or the city of Westminster? Controversial.
I don't know.
Edmonton. It is. It's an Edmonton game.
Yeah, this is true.
We are at the ice rink with the Edmonton Oilers.
I think it's the Lee Valley Athletic Centre.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
It's actually a really nice venue.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of comments today about how it's nice to play 40k in such an open, sort of airy environment with natural light, which is something we never see.
Which is never seen, no, exactly. There's lots of natural light, which is good. We're in hopefully where the lights are placed, we should be able to still see during the later rounds, but the players are currently melting under hot studio lights, so unlucky.
It's a good venue. We've just come back from dinner.
Yeah, just had some cheeky burger.
It was nice. Feel well looked after.
Yeah, it was always good.
We're getting stuck into these second games of this Invitational. Who will be going home in 2 hours? That is the question.
I mean, probably not Frankie because he's got a long way to go coming from the US.
Yeah.
Maybe not Innis because he's also come a long way, not quite as far from Scotland.
No.
So I don't think they're going home. I think they'll probably stay for the main event.
I'd rather have the much longer travel to New York.
This is true. Glad to see Double T's on stream. You are in Enfield. There you go, you're in Enfield. So we're going to get an update from table 1 from Toby. Toby is table bossing today with Danny on table 2 because he's a legend. Danny's doing a great job. We might get Danny commentating in a bit if he feels like it. We'll see what he feels like. So, there's unit of 10, a unit of 12, and a unit of 12.
So just hold 1 then for Innes at the end of his turn. He's not killed the full unit.
So he's going for the bike, so we're going into Frankie's turn 1. So that should all being well update on the stream. We will find out. We've had a bit of an issue with ITC battles today. It's a great little app. It's a little bit intermittent sometimes. So the secondaries that Frankie has gone for is Headhunter, so kill characters, Recon, be all over the board and behind enemy lines, be in their grill. That's what the second has gone for. And this has gone for the Butcher's Bill, which is kill 2 units a turn, the Reaper, which is kill 18 models, and then Engineers, which is hold units back and just have them holding objectives, which will probably be the Tech Marine manning thing. I don't think he could choose that unit, but
he's got a lot of apprentices with him on minimum wage.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. So Innes' score is updated. So let's cut to table 2. Which it is Joshua Death versus Stephen Box. A very interesting game, double Marine matchup. Ultramarines versus White Scars, Imperial Fists, and Crimson Fist successors. So we do have a head judge there who's keeping an eye. But Josh Death is using 3 Hunters, which are toughness 8 little boxes, which are pretty cool, pretty decent. And then obviously.
I'm sure Dan will feedback to us what's happening.
Yeah, Steve is using the Ultramarines. This is the duck table. So, quite cool looking armies on this table. So, we are going to get a full update. Danny's going to find out what's happening. But I think it's just movement phase at this point. So, that's just the movement phase. We've got not just movement phase. Shall we come back to table 1? Nothing's happening there.
Nothing's
both
happening.
being it's a bit of a standoff.
It's just a very, very dead part.
Yeah, it's just cool. This is why we have 2 tables, everybody, because it's just the movement phase and nothing's happening. So we have Frankie's turn 1 movement. He's got to be really careful with his characters now. If he whiffs with any of this, then he'll just lose models in droves. So. No, that's yellow. Yes, they are yellow boxes. They look like sweet corn on the top of the table. So, do we have an update of table 2? Is anything happening? Are they still moving models?
Still moving models, yeah.
Great, cool. So, I just want to remind the players that they have 2 hours 20 on the clock. So,
entertain us.
Yeah. 2 hours 20, and I don't want to be streaming for the full 3 hours. Because we are live streaming another. This is game 2 of 10 games for you guys this weekend.
So just quickly, Innes has a unit of Engineers, which are scouts, in the middle of the board.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are they doing there? I looked at the wrong screen. There they are. That's a unit of scouts and they're Engineers. Does Innes know how to play Warhammer 40k ITC?
That is the question.
Because does he not know that Frankie wrote ITC? Toby, I think you need to ask Frankie if he wrote this rules pack.
I've just been informed that table 2 is now going into turn 1. So the errata and the judge questions must have ended, and now they're confidently rolling.
Okay,
ahead.
so what we'll do, we'll leave them a minute to catch up, and then actually do something.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Were they still deploying? Is that what the issue was?
Any chance you can ring my boss to get me out of going to work so I can watch the stream all afternoon? I will do it. I do a very convincing voice.
If someone donates £5 and you give me his number, I will phone him up as your mother or father and tell you too sick, you got to go home. So there you go. Or live on air. Do a dance on camera to pass
I've just
the
been
time.
told that Frankie is using the same stratagem to redeploy 3 units and got a CP back.
Cheeky boy.
Yeah.
That was a little bit cheeky. We apologise that the CP on screen aren't correct because for some reason it isn't updating, but the scores are correct. So.
I love how Moon Tyranid just talks like he's from Yorkshire now as well. Me mum, me dad are on vacation.
So, don't think it's like that. Also, I'm home. Moon Tyranid, I don't understand. Me, mum and dad are on vacation, also I'm home. What? Where are you, bro? Where are you? Where are you? Which one, me symbol or Moon? Moonties are Stark. Yeah, exactly. He comes from north. Comes from where I'm from Sheffield, like.
On table 1,
Yeah.
Frankie just got a smite off for 2 damage.
Nice. What was that into? Do we know?
I don't know what that was into.
I'm sure we'll find out.
Into the scouts. The engineer scouts in the middle of the board.
That
No?
makes sense. So he's using his engineer scouts to screen.
Just getting one-word supplies of information.
So obviously, like, engineers are supposed to sit on an objective and not shoot anything. So I don't really know why they're in the middle of the board.
But yeah,
But you know, this could be an extreme play that I
can
just don't
confirm
get.
it wasn't the engineers. But we have moved into the shooting phase. Now, as a person who is relatively new to the whole phenomenon that is Gene Stealer Cult, where do they do their most damage? Because obviously you've got your Tau, who are famous for the shooting phase.
Yeah, turn 1 alpha.
Pardon?
There'd be a turn 1 alpha, which you know.
Gene
so
Stealer Cult is sort of-
Tau.
Right, okay, yeah.
So
I was
Tau
gonna
are
say,
like a turn 1 alpha, so they get all their guns in range and just shoot you for 2 turns. Gene Stealer Cults are a funny one because they have so many tricks. The thing is with Gene Stealer Cults is they are all toughness 3 or 4 with like a 4 or a 5 up save.
Yeah.
Some of them have Feel No Pain, but really they don't have any like invuns. They don't have like any tanky units except for the aberrants. The thing with Gene Stealer Cults is they can play with the reserve mechanic or holding units back into later turns so easy. They've got so many tricks to go back into reserve and deep strike and stuff like that. So they're like an overwhelming threat. They'll just keep throwing units at you 9 away, whilst all the other units, the rubbish ones, all the infantry, like the guardsmen, will just hold objectives. So they'll keep throwing a big unit and then loads of little units and holding objectives and hiding, and they'll just keep throwing them constantly every turn. You just got to like weather the storm for the first 3 turns.
Yeah.
If you can survive the onslaught for 3 turns, you're probably going to be okay.
So that was what we saw this morning with Tom's game, where he kind of held on by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically Tom was just screening with his knights against Nick's onslaught, and Tom did weather it, but by the time he'd finally weathered it, Nick had won because of the amount of points he scored ahead.
Yeah.
So,
just before we cut to Tank's roaming report, Seal of Oath has been declared on the Scorpius on table 2. I believe the Scorpius belongs
the relic
to...
Scorpius of Joshua Death. So Seal of Oath is all units within 6 inches of the guy who holds it, reroll all hits and wounds. So it's really good. It's basically like, I'll pin a badge on him. It's kind of like pin the tail on the donkey.
What's that? It's similar to that guard one that they have. Is it
Old
called...
Grudges.
Old Grudges,
yeah.
right.
So there you go. So whilst those guys actually start doing some stuff, we'll let Tank catch us up with the other 7,
I
6
believe he's
tables.
going to tell us about some Old Grudges.
Is he going to tell us about Old Grudges now? We had that at game 1 though. Here we go.
Hello everyone. Do you want to hear about the Old Grudges? Hello everyone. Do you want to hear about the Old Grudges first then? So as I told you before, Malik Rubio got first turn against Bernard Lee's free knight and guard list. Now Malik has a tank commander with the relic battle cannon and Old Grudges on one of Bernard's knights. The tank commander one-shotted a knight. So Bernard lost 1 knight just to a tank commander, and then the free Caladius has killed a second knight. And the general consensus is that from the players is that game's pretty much over after 1 turn. So classic 40k for you there. Nick Nanavati and Boris Mitchev, GSC versus Smasher Gun Gunline Orcs. As you know how GSC worked, 2 turns in, nothing really happened that much. Boris managed to jump some looters so he could kill a guard squad to get kill 1. But Nick's just hiding, Boris is pushing out, taking the table, and I guess the game will be if Nick can take the table back and eventually get to that gun line. Conrad and Reese Robinson. Conrad has moved up all his flyers to target Reese's units that are hiding. There's a bit of a funny comment Conrad made to Reese where he pointed out that Reese wrote the rules that let him have so many flyers, which was quite funny. Mark Crumbleholm and George White, that one's looking quite close. The players tell me that Mark's got the advantage and he's had the rub of the green on the luck. But to me, it looks like it's quite even and they've both got most of their army left. James Mackenzie and Rickard Nielsen kind of mirroring the Nick Nanavati and Boris Mitchev list. The GSC are hiding. The AdMech are trying to screen. James Mackenzie did manage to get a wrap on some Rangers in his first turn and then kill them on Rickard's turn. So he's looking in quite good shape, although Rickard's screen and his sort of Tower of Power gun castle is still holding. Joe Milam and Simon Priddis. Simon Priddis had quite a good first turn of shooting. He managed to kill 3 Venoms, a Razorwing, and a Ravager, which is quite a good haul. However, Joe's still got he's got 6 to 9 Talos, I'll check for you, but he's still got all his Talos in play, which is essentially the big threat to the tower in this match. So I'll leave it there and put you back to Mikey and Elliot, and speak to you soon.
There we go, guys. That was Tank with the dapper update on the Silkies cam, which will be featured tomorrow joining the main event. But today we are live at the London Grand Tournament. This is the Invitational Knockout Tournament. It was 32 of the best players from around the globe. It's now only 16 because it's a knockout. Once you're out, mate.
Once you're out, you're out.
So we are Hellstormwargaming. We are streaming this event all weekend. We have the Invitational today. We have the main event tomorrow and the Invitational final tomorrow, and then the last 2 games on Sunday. So this is round 2 of a 10-round streaming coverage. So I hope you aren't busy, because we are. For your pleasure, everybody. So I hope everyone's well. Can you get Tank a sleeveless shirt for tomorrow? Oh, we're all dressing smart tomorrow. We're all going to be wearing the same t-shirt like bros. We're all going to like fist bump.
Yeah.
So it's going to be great.
Bros.
So, are you having a good time, Elliot?
I am indeed. I do have some updates for you.
Go on.
If you would like me to regale you with the...
Which table shall we start with?
So, table 1.
Yeah, which is Innis versus Frankie, which you're watching now.
Yeah, they both didn't do a lot. So, they both got hold 1. It was just 2-1, basically, to Innis going into turn 2.
2-1.
And important, though, Innis has gone into the tactical doctrine.
The tactical doctrine. So with my Space Marines, I run loads and loads of heavy weapons.
A lot of bolters as well, I've just been informed. A lot of bolters.
So my list, and what a lot of people seem to be running, a lot of heavy weapons. White Scars want to be in the assault doctrine.
Yes.
But Innis has got a crap ton of bolters because he knows he's got to spend a whole turn in tactical doctrine.
Yep.
So he's taking that and just utilising it to the full effect. He's got loads of... He's got like, what, 15 aggressors? 8 aggressors, I think he's got in his list. All with bolter, which will get extra AP, which is really good. And it's just like...
It would be really good, but I've just been informed that he failed all of his psychic powers. And one of them, which was the no Overwatch, the Storm Reeved.
That is not good.
But that always fails, as we saw in the battle report on the channel.
So, on youtube.com/Hellstormwargaming, make sure you go and subscribe, because we're trying to hit that 10k, bro. Gamers help gamers. Boys support boys. Boys
and
support
girls
boys.
and everyone.
Girls support girls. Boys support boys.
Yeah. I'm not getting involved in this conversation. I'm
All
going
I'll
to
say
move
is
on
our
and say
viewership
that
is 0.02% women, so...
I'll move on and say that Stephen has spent 1 command point to make sure that his Leviathan's operating as if it was in its top bracket.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay, that's decent.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
What are the armies playing? So this is table 1. We have Frankie Giampapa from FLG, or Frontline Gaming.
Yeah.
He is using Gene Stealer Colts versus Innis Wilson with the White Scars. Let's cut to table 2. On table 2, we have Steve, Team Box. He's playing a pure Ultramarines list. A very cool Ultramarines list, I should say.
Yeah, it's got Tigerius and Calgar in it, so quite...
It's got a Leviathan in it, so it's definitely my favourite.
I like it, yeah.
He actually came second with a very similar list at Battlefield Birmingham, which is an event from a couple of weeks ago. So, versus Mr. Joshua Deff, controversially, but he's been a very good boy. So there you go. He's been really good. He's playing a mixture of White Scars, Crimson Fists, and Imperial Fists.
Why controversially?
He's been sometimes being a naughty boy.
I've heard that.
But he's been really nice today.
He's recently come out as saying that he's like reinventing himself and he's doing a big push to.
He's been
to be like a friendly gamer, so
he's super sounding game
power
one.
to him as far as I'm concerned. If you can have that reflective moment and think, yeah, power gaming's not what I'm about, I'm going to make an effort to be a cool guy to play games.
And I think
that's cool.
And this is the first time I met him, and I think he's a legend.
Yeah,
so there you go.
I've had nothing but a positive experience.
So there you go. That is all the tables that are being played. So we're currently in. Steve's looking at a book. He's reading a book like a big nerd. What a loser.
You need to read books.
He's a nutritionist. You don't need to read books.
I just guess what the stats are.
Yeah.
That Storm Bolter, strength 6 minus A2.
minus what?
A2. Not even a number.
Not A1.
A mixture of letters.
Not A4.
A4 would just be broken, Mike.
I am a bit worried though. Steve's wearing a very strappy vest, and there's not a lot of material covering his nipple, and we don't want that on stream. I'll probably get banned.
Probably get banned, yeah.
So if Steve can keep his nipples in his shirt, it will be great.
Break the terms of service.
So let's get a second view. We can get a good shot of Steve's army that's going on right now. So this is like the backfield. This is Steve's deployment zone. He has a repulsor hiding in the building, but poking out, but hiding from all the stalkers. And then he's got the Leviathan just like trudging up like a legend. I love the Leviathan. Oh my god, did you see that? Did you see his chest? Don't look, everybody. Don't look. Cover your eyes. So again, on this day we are using a chest clock. Can't see the time on it though because we don't have fancy cameras. We're not that posh.
Not that posh, no.
But I'm sure we can keep an update from Dan. So that was the psychic phase for the Ultramarine. So Dan, the wonderful table boss, is going to update us about what's happening. So,
sorry, I was in the middle of getting an update then, but it was cut off.
It was cut off. Dan, give us an update.
I think it was Might of Heroes has been cast.
Yeah, which is +1 strength, toughness, and attacks. It probably put out the repulsor, I imagine.
That was by Steve.
Everyone is asking for the nips. We can't have the nips on stream. I actually believe it's against terms of service. There you
go. And that was for Might of Heroes. Perfect. Yeah. Right. So Tigerius has rolled for Veil of Time.
Ooh, reroll charges.
Yes.
And always fight first.
But he did Perils on a 12.
Oh. He just failed.
He failed Veil of Time. They failed of time. Okay.
Failed of time.
Fail of time. That's what we'll just call it from now on. And then he Perils on a 12.
On Might of Heroes.
For Might of Heroes, and took 3 mortal wounds on Tigerius.
Oh, that's not good. And who did he cast Might of Heroes onto? Was it the Repulsor? On the Leviathan? Yeah, so he cast it on the Leviathan. So the Leviathan is currently toughness 9 with a 4+ in run. And then,
Filthy.
And then whereabouts is...
Is it worth 3 mortal wounds on Tigerius?
It's
a bit of an odd one, that, isn't it?
I mean, I don't think... Does Joshua have loads of eliminators?
Mathematically, it's like...
No, so Joshua does have the Stalker Bolt Rifle, so he could snipe Tigerius. He's going to have to hide him really well. But whereabouts is Tigerius? Oh, I can see him. He's at the back. He's this little red guy in the back. Oh, no, that's Calgar. Danny, can we find out where Tigerius is? If it can find out where Tigerius is. No, he's not listening. Game over.
This is the voice of the Mr. Ons, Daniel. Can you find out where Tigerius is for us, please?
Just
he's in this building, so that'd be...
He's at the back with the eliminators. Yeah. So you can point to it, Dan, with your finger. Just use your finger and point to it. Go on, nice finger. Here we go.
Cool. Okay. So behind the repulsor.
Thank you. And Mime Shake, thank you very much for a follow. Let's cut to table 1. We'll get an update from Toby. And Jamie Eelston, thank you very much for a follow. Appreciate it. So we've got an update from table 2, and we've got an update from table 1. I think that's what's happening.
So not much going on in table 1 so far. Table 2, the Leviathan, Steve's Leviathan, has just fired into the unit of 10 intercessors.
Oh. These are -3 at this point. Damage 2.
But Josh did counter with the
transhuman physiology.
Transhuman physiology.
So that is 2 CP.
Yep.
And what that does is it means that unit cannot be wounded on better than a 4+.
But he still killed 6.
Okay. I mean, it's still 20 shots to be fair. It's still 20 shots at -2.
6 intercessors dead.
So that's really good. That's going to reduce them quite a bit. He needs to kill his sniper rifles, and then we won't have. They won't be able to bully all of Steve's characters. He needs to keep Calgar alive. He needs to keep Tigerius alive. So he needed Might of Heroes just to keep him alive for a bit longer. Oh, I've just noticed we've got a scarred cast objective on the board. I didn't even notice that before. So just getting an update from table 1. We're still in Innis's turn 2. Let's cut over to table 1.
We've just moved into the assault phase.
Okay.
Innis has only killed 1 unit of bikes. He has got another unit of bikes down to 1 wound. He's just starting up his assault phase, but probably feels quite underwhelming at this point.
Yeah, there is
not doing enough damage
there.
To that GSC.
There's a lot in the reserve. It must have been whiffing. Yeah, why is there plastic ducts? Why isn't there plastic ducts?
That is for us to know and you to never find out.
Yeah. Why would you not have a plastic duck on the stream? It's the duck table. It's where they have the duck off. Where they duck.
Why don't you duck off?
I probably should, to be fair. Is it the Rubrix Cube Duck the Primark? Yes.
So
indeed.
the repulsor has advanced and pop smoke.
Okay.
How very thematic.
Yeah, so it does mean that it's -1.
Yeah.
I imagine because Tigerius is quite close. Tigerius has a rule to choose unit within 6 and makes it -1. So I imagine that repulsor's -2 to hit right now.
Right. Okay.
And then the Leviathan's toughness 9 with a 4+. So his big stuff's quite safe at the minute. Really.
Yeah.
So. So thank you, Crosby, for pointing that out. I appreciate it, bro.
What unit is smashing into Frankie's bikes there?
Yeah, so what unit's currently shooting, Toby?
There's just been a charge declared, I believe.
We're doing a charge. We're going to find out what's happening because we're getting a bit intense on both tables. At first, we were taking the piss because nothing was happening on table 2, but now it's like, oh my god, there's loads happening.
So there's a unit of scouts and the captain in combat, so that's what's charging into the bikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll let you know how that combat goes.
We can draw on the screen, Crosby. We can
Right,
look,
okay.
there we go.
So he's just trying to wrap them up, stop them from shooting next turn, apparently.
Yeah. So he's trying to just wrap, get the bikes in there. The bikes aren't that great in combat. And that's all happening here. I'm going to try and draw. The problem is with drawing on screen is the way I've got it positioned, it's terrible. There we go. I did it perfectly. It's happening. It's all happening here. There you go. It's like a face. It's not, my software that I'm using isn't great. I don't have like a fancy screen, so I have to just guess where it is. So, did Highlander get knocked out? Highlander? I don't know.
Right, so going into the charge phase on table 2, just let an update.
Okay, let's skip to table 2.
Right, so just at the end of the shooting phase, Steve spent a command point to fire the Thunder Fire Cannon again.
Okay.
Did no wounds.
Nothing.
No wounds.
Okay.
Zilch. Calgar did make the easy 4-inch charge into the Phobos Librarian, so he'll be doing that.
Makes sense. Wrong wire, Toby. So sorry, just joined. Who's playing and what are they playing? So we have 2 tables. We have Stephen Box versus Joshua Def, both playing Marines, and then we have on the other table we have Frankie from FLG versus Innes Wilson. There we go. We got a high five. Going to find out what happened there from Dan. Par Highlander. So I believe he got knocked out, but I can find out from Tank as soon as he comes back. Because we don't have a list of pairings at the minute, which is a bit of a shame.
Right, so Calgar swung at the Phobos Librarian. This is the cause of the shout.
Yeah.
Did a load of wounds to him, but Josh rolled and saved like a boss. Only 2 went through.
Wow.
Apparently, then Steve looked him in the eyes and said, "I will do it. I will get 6 on this 2d3 because obviously Calgar's weapon is d3."
Yeah. Oh, he never did, did he?
Did it? Yeah.
Oh, what a legend!
While looking into his eyes, savage.
Yeah. The lists on this aren't on BCP, so what I'm going to have to do, I have been told off. I've been told by Just K to update the plugin. So I'm going to have to do that, and then I'm going to do it live. We're just going to have to do it live, Elliot, because people want it.
Just answering to TD the Preacher. I can answer that question, can't I?
Go for it. You go for it.
Yeah, so Manny did get kicked out. Big upset in the first round.
Sad
he
face.
Lost to Josh Def, who is now on table 2 fighting against Steve. So Mikey's just updating the lists plugin. I believe that Innes is just wrapping up his combat phase. Oh, we're into Frankie's movement, okay.
So we're on turn 2.
So into... So those guys are wrapping up turn 2. Okay. So Innis scored kill 1. Right, so at the end
tell us
of...
what's happening, Elliot. I apologise for this.
Yeah, no. At the end of Steve's turn on table 2, he scored kill 1, hold 1, and headhunter.
Sure.
And at the end of Innis's turn on table 1, he'd scored kill 1, hold 1, and 1 engineer. So both picking up 3 in their respective turns.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the list, guys, so I can update the Twitch panel for you.
So steady games at the moment, nothing too exciting happening, just trotting along. It'd be interesting to see now how Frankie replies as we're into his turn 2. And I believe Josh is just doing some movement around on table 2. So, interesting.
See, I put this Twitch panel on because it was really good, but then I realised it's really awkward to update, so there you go. So, I'll sort this out for you. So, Joshua Death should be updated now.
Okay. So, on table 1, we're at the end of the movement phase, and I believe that Frankie is just deep striking the units that he used the stratagems with before to move out of the way, and also probably a little bit extra because the Gene Stealer call everyone's just in a sewer. So I've just been told that the intercessors that took a load of damage passed their morale and are fine and are going to stick on the board like champions.
Wow, okay.
Yeah. So we're just wrapping up the movement phases for our second players in the turn 2 for both games. Both sort of mirroring each other at the moment. Not really high-scoring games. But there's lots of skill being utilised. There's lots of little finicky movements and stuff that goes way over my head as someone who's not really a comp player. But as Mikey struggles with the plugins, it is left for me to try and comment on the competitive 40k.
I'm just going to add Frankie's in, and you can sort of shout it at me.
I think the best thing might be for us to cut to a tank update.
Yes, let's go to
the
tank.
Roaming Reporter.
Hello, everyone. Yep, so take you through the tables that are not on the stream. Nick Nanavati and Boris Mitchev. A cagey start, typical Gene Stealer cult kind of game. Nick has just brought... Boris has got the board at the minute, and Nick's kind of hiding in a corner. But Nick has just brought in his Flamer Bomb, and his unit of Aberrants that started on the board hiding have come out to play. So I'm expecting the Flamer Bomb will clear quite a lot of screening units, and I expect he'll be looking for the Aberrants to kill some screening units themselves and probably try and hug something that he hasn't declared the charge on. Conrad Barkovitz and Reese Robinson, not a lot going on in that game really. Robbins, I'm sorry, Reese. Anyway, yeah, so Reese has got a lot of his good stuff off the table with the White Scars, outflank and so on. Conrad has basically just flew his planes up and shot some scouts and things. Not a lot gone on in that game yet. Mark Cromblehome and George White, sort of Eldari against Knights. I think Mark's definitely got board control. All three of George White's Knights are still standing, but 2 of them are badly wounded now. I know Mark was disappointed that he didn't kill one in his second shooting phase, but there's one with like 2 wounds left. James McKenzie... He's actually waited till turn 3 to bring in any of his saws or flamers and things. I think he's just thinking about bringing some flamers in now. His 1 unit of Aberrants that he started on the board, they've actually put in a lot of work for him. They've killed a couple of Rangers squads, the best part of a big Breacher squad. And Ricard is still keeping his distance and still screening quite well. But James does seem to be doing what he likes to do in that game, from what I can see. Malik Rubio and Bernard Lee, that game is over already. As I said before, Malik killed 2 of Bernard's knights on the first turn. He killed the third one on his second shooting phase, and then the 2 players decided it was time to call it there. So that was a brutal game, like a real sort of Malik's making that kind of aggressive mobile gunline list his trademark. Joe Milam and Simon Pridis, I don't think that game's going to go on too many more turns. Simon got to go first. He's killed pretty much all the... he's killed all like the Venoms and the Ravagers and the Razor Wings now. There's just like the Talos and the characters left, and he has just killed sort of 4 or 5 Talos, and Joe's only got 2 Talos and some characters left, although they are good characters, so I think he's still got a chance. They did tell me that the Solitaire, who has the Ignore Overwatch relic, he actually rolled 2 1s on his blitz, so couldn't blitz into the broadsides, which was pretty huge. And that's where we're at the moment, and I'll give you back to the boys.
So, Tank, thank you very much for that. Tank, if you could do us a favour, everyone's asking about Par Highlander.
About what?
Par Highlander is one of the players, so if you could find out what he's doing and then give us an update.
He got beat in the first round.
He got beat in the first round, okay.
By Malik.
Oh, there you go. So he lost to Malik in the first round.
Very close game.
Very close game. I apologise about not having the full update. I might have the score, maybe. I don't think we do. The problem is because there's quite a lot of players here today, and we've got to focus on who's on the tables at the time. So I apologise for that late update. But so Par Highlander was knocked out in the first round against Malik. So yeah, if you could, yeah. Shall we get Par as an interview?
Why don't we do it?
We could just do what we like.
These games seem to be quite
stale.
They're keeping their pace.
Yeah.
They're setting the pace, but the pace is slow.
Yeah. Here we go. Par's coming on now, so he's going to do a quick interview. There we go. So let's cut back to Tank and Par, if you can. There we go. So let's cut to it now. And
hello, everyone. We've had some questions on the chat, asking some Par followers asking how you went on this morning. I know you played Malik, didn't you? Who's a very good player. Would you mind just giving the people on stream a quick rundown of how your game went? I was keeping an eye on it. It was very close, I saw, and it was a bit of a real sort of a nuggety fight till the end. Neither of you had much left at the end, did you? But you can fill us in some more.
Yeah, no, we unfortunately I didn't get the first turn. My list is could go second, which it did, and I put everything in ambush.
You had the outflanking tank commanders, didn't you?
Yeah, so all my Talon parts was in ambush. I unfortunately made 2 mistakes, and I think that cost me the game. I put my Chapter Master a little bit too close, so he could shoot at it with Dreadnoughts, which should have been okay, but he made an 11-inch charge, and that's it. And then my second mistake, which was worse, was that I was a little bit too cocky with my characters, my 3 librarians, and so he could shoot them basically.
He had a lot of shooting, eh?
Yeah, he did. And when that happens, I don't get these extra wounds with smite and stuff.
Yeah.
So in the end, I knew the game plan, and it just went like that.
Yeah.
But when I lost those things, I lost a little bit of momentum.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get the last points that I needed. But otherwise, this was just according to plan. I went in the second turn, basically wiped his army. Right. He didn't have much left.
I was surprised how much he did kill.
Yeah, and when I lost the Chapter Master, I was lucky with my Devastators, with Grav Cannons. I hit a little bit too much with them, so I got 1 extra tank. But on the other hand, I didn't get flexibility with them that I wanted. I would have loved to go for the Custodes tanks, but that's what can you do. I lost by a point.
Yeah,
so
it
it was close.
Are you playing in the GT the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, brilliant. We'll look out for him. Do you have a YouTube channel or anything you want to plug, or
No,
just a gamer?
just the game.
Excellent.
I had a year off, but I'm getting back to it now.
Yeah.
So it should be good.
Brilliant.
Should be good.
Thank you, Par, and back to Mikey and Elliot.
Cheers.
There you go, that was Par Highlander. Sadly knocked out in the first event, but we are here to try and make the coverage what you want to watch. So you asked for Par Highlander, and there he was.
There he was.
So thank you very much, Tank, for that interview. I want to say we are live at the Invitational Knockout 40k tournament at the London Grand Tournament. We're here all weekend covering both 40k events, the Invitational and the main Grand Tournament.
Live, coming straight in your ear holes.
In your ear holes, on your face holes if you're watching this on VR. That's about it, I think. Do you want to watch this on VR? So we've got a couple of questions asked. Is Malik playing Talon of Vestroyan? He was playing against Knights, and he killed 2 Knights turn 1, and that game was ended. It was basically Malik had a turn, and then the other guy conceded. So I can't remember the name of the guy who was playing, but that was it. So
I've just got the updated scores.
yeah,
At the end of Frankie's turn 2 on table 1,
let's cut to table 1.
Frankie has scored kill 1, hold more, and headhunter.
Nice.
But at the end of the turn, at the end of the whole, is it a battle round, do we call it?
Battle round, yes.
Very nice.
Battle round.
Innis had actually killed more, so does get an extra point for that at the end of the
there we
turn,
go.
which makes the score 7-7 at the moment, so quite interesting.
Very interesting. Going into
Yeah.
round 3.
Going into round 3, Innis is currently moving in turn 3.
Yeah, so this is turn 3 for Innis. A really close 7-7 draw. Are the new codex? Yes, so the new Space Marine codexes are in. The Iron Hands and Raven Guard aren't in, but just curious how they had the tanks off the board as Vestroyan, if that's the case. Thought Talon does the outflanking. I'm not sure because we're not watching the Talon game. We're watching Innis Wilson versus Frankie Giampapa from Frontline Gaming. I'm going to have to ask him after if that's how you pronounce his name. I'm sure it is. But there you go. So he's using Gene the Colts versus Space Marines, and then on the other table, table 2, we have Team Box of Stephen Box and Joshua Death, both playing Space Marines. Nothing's outflanking, everything's in deployment zone. So all I know is Malik, in that game, Malik had a relic battle cannon with all grudges and another couple of tanks, and he killed 2 Knights in turn 1. So sadly, as much as I would love to talk about every single table, there's too many.
There is too many, yeah.
So maybe in round 4, when there's only 2, we'll talk about both tables at the same time. But yeah. So I think we're going to get an update from table 1 and table 2.
So just a really quick one. Innis has moved in on table 1 to the combat doctrine. Assault doctrine.
White
which
Scar
is where
tasty
he
time.
wants to be as a White Scar player, indeed.
2 damage, -1 AP on these hands.
So it's going to be very, very interesting. And then on table 2, Josh,
Let's cut to table 2.
with the half damage, was able to do 6 wounds still. To
So he's punching into the Relic Leviathans on the left, right?
He was, yeah. So he still managed to do 6 wounds to put it down to 8.
Yeah.
And the Venerable Dreadnought did smack some scouts off the board.
Gorge, thank you very much for follow. And he slapped him. Like that. All the secondaries up to H's is Prim. There's 3 primary, 3 seconds, unless my math is off, isn't 7.
I've just been told that table 1 is apparently a very, very friendly game.
Yeah, so
and they're
they
having
are
lots of fun.
Oh, that's all right then. This is round 3, so they both scored 1 point in the first turn. It was both hold 1. I don't think neither of them got kill more or hold more. And then it's 3 for the primaries on the second turn. So, and then 3 secondaries. Maybe games are slow because they both include marine lists. Yes, they are a bit of late bloomer marine lists, aren't they? So I think we're going to get a full update of what's happening on table 2. We have Stephen Box's biceps included. Yeah, sorry. So because these games, because the thing is with these sort of lists, they wait until turn 3, especially Gene Stealer Colts versus Marines. Innis wants to be in turn 3. Gene Stealer Colts want to be in turn 3. So there's like a couple of scores coming through. So we are trying to have multiple views throughout the weekend. We are trying our best. We do have 2 cameras on each table. We're doing most of this off our own back. We want to say massive thank you to Bad Moon Cafe that helped us buy out some cameras and some lights, which made this stream setup possible to do 2 tables. It was either do 1 table really, really, really well, or do 2 tables pretty well.
Yeah.
So we're doing 2 tables pretty well to keep it interesting for you, because there's like 32 players. You can't just have 2 players on the stream, can you? It's rubbish.
No.
Rubbish.
Just get some quick updates in. So, 2 command points have been used on table 2 by Josh.
Okay.
So that his intercessors can shoot characters.
Yeah, so that is the Stalker Bolt Rifle stratagem. Can't remember what it's called, but essentially...
Angry Stalker stratagem.
Angry Stalker stratagem, yeah.
So they're hoping to take Tiggy out.
Yeah, he's only on 3 wounds remaining in a minute because he took 3 from the perils.
So
here we go.
So the roll's happening now.
Here we go. What's Steve going to do? Bruin, thank you for a follow. Steve's got some cheeky tricks. No, that's it. That is Tiggy gone.
Tiggy is dead.
R.I.P. Tiggy, F in the chat.
Tiggy is gone. So that mortal wound perils before, big.
Screwed him.
Big.
Jimmy Zoo, thank you very much for follow. So it's interesting because he rolled a double 6 for the psychic power.
Yeah.
So he definitely goes off, can't be denied. But he obviously took 3 mortal wounds for it, so I think he probably should have CP re-rolled one of them, either the cast to make it less damaging. Lords of War, thank you very much for the follow, dude, appreciate it. Or he could have re-rolled the damage roll for when he took a mortal wounds on himself. Well, there you go. We're going to find out what's coming up next on this table.
So I've just heard that Might of Heroes, Steve believed it went off on an 8.
Oh no.
So that's why he kept his double 6 instead of just doing the command reroll. Because obviously he already had a 6.
Yeah.
So he would have easily been able to secure that by re-rolling one of the dice. He's kept that result, thinking that he needed an 8.
No.
Took the 3 mortal wounds, and then as a result,
lost him.
He's been able to lose out.
Because Tigerius not only can re-roll failed casts,
Big
he
mistake.
can also add 1 to cast as well.
Yeah.
And to deny. So if it did go off on an 8, it only needed 7, but it's actually warp charge 6, I believe.
Yes.
So he'd already passed it with 1 dice. So he actually cast it on a 7.
Yeah, Tiggy can re-roll casts.
He can re-roll casts. So oopsie. He could have re-rolled both. Because it's not even failed casts, it's just casts.
So, very interesting.
Casting.
Steve looked disappointed with that play, but I'm sure he'll bounce back.
It's all the cameras. He's not used to all these cameras on him. It's usually one camera doing his coaching. He does the hands. Shall we do the hands together?
Do the hands.
Wait for it. Ready?
Hello, welcome back to the
My name is
stream.
Stephen Box, and I made a big mistake in that
I'm a
game.
nutritional dietitian, personal trainer boy.
Let's cut back to table 1. So it is turn 3 for Innis. I think Innis is shooting. Is Innis shooting loads of bolters at Gene Stealers?
It's just a load of bolters being fired. Loads
Toby's
and
doing the
loads and loads of
snoring
bolters.
action for that one. Toby, can you hear me quite well? Like, just through the microphone?
Yeah, he
What about
can.
when I talk loudly? Can they hear me? Okay, that's cool, isn't it? So the players can't hear what we're saying, so we can say anything about them, and they'll never know without scrolling through 4 hours of streams. Archon Win, welcome, dude. Welcome to the stream from California. There you go.
Oh, from Cali. That was a bad accent, I'm sorry.
Any Wolves playing not in the Invitational. So this is a 32-man Invitational event. It's currently it's a knockout, so there's only 16 players. But we'll cut to table 2. Here we go, second view.
The Scorpius is firing. I've just been told by our reporter that Steve cannot make a save to save.
Stephen
cannot make a save to save his life.
That was terrible.
It was terrible.
That was
terrible. That was Dan. That was Dan's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting to see. There's a shake of the head from Steve. The Scorpius is doing some work.
Doesn't Steve know he has to roll dice to win this game, and we're rolling relatively well? It's only morale that you need to roll low. So
it's okay. We just make up our accent as we go along. Here. Good.
It's 10:30 p.m. here in Perth, Australia.
That's
there you
prime
go.
Warhammer time.
Prime Warhammer time on a Friday night. Beers, Warhammer, and Mr. Stephen Box. It's just Steve. You just need to roll more than a 2, and you'll be fine. He says he'll try his best for the cameras.
If it's in Australia, it's bears, battalions,
Bears,
box, and barbecue.
Barbecue and box. Yeah. So we're going to cut back to Tank. He's going to do an interview with Mr. James McKenzie. Is James McKenzie the best in the ITC at the minute? No. Okay. James McKenzie has just finished and lost his game, so let's have a chat about how that went.
Okay, we've had sort of quite a big event happening in James McKenzie and Rickard Nielsen's game. Seemed like James McKenzie was in the driving seat, but you decided to concede. Do you want to tell everyone about it?
Yeah, sure. So what happened was I moved my Abrams out and advanced to make a charge, wrap up some units, touch some tanks, kill like half his relevant units. all of which happened. Unfortunately, I cast the power off on a 4 with +1 a cast. In my head, I normally go, oh, it's only a 5 because I have +1 a cast. I was incorrect. It actually goes off on a 6. So that's my mistake. We played on not realizing that. We got about 2 turns further on, game hugely in my favor. And my opponent looked at it, checked it, and said, oh, actually it's a 6, you've got that wrong. So I apologized and said, I've got a free reroll on my Warlord. I'll use it on that. And used it, got it, fine. We carry on for about 5 more minutes. Check that in the book and go, can only be used on to hit, to wound, or armor saves. So I can't use it. So at that stage, we're 2 turns on. It's huge. It's basically I've won the game on this aberrant charge, which was illegal. So me and my opponent talked about it a little bit. We got a judge in just to talk to them about what they wanted to do. And they gave us 2 options, which was reset the game state on my clock, so I take the clock punishment, or it's a straight win for Rickard. With us being 2 turns on, we'd have been playing a 20-minute game on turn 1. It doesn't make any sense. I've chosen to concede the game. The mistakes happen, but I don't think getting an advantage from it's fair. So I've chosen to concede that game and take myself out of the tournament.
Yeah, like a classy move. Like, I tip my hat to you.
You can't. Yeah. Like if I argued anything else, that'd be cheating.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've made a mistake in the rules. I'm going to go away and check that, and get myself right for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I can't justify getting a result on a game that massively swung on something that was incorrect.
Yeah. Well, best luck tomorrow. We'll be keeping tabs on you, and thanks for telling the guys about it.
No worries.
And I'll leave you to go and grab a beer, and I'll just tell them about some other things I've seen in the other games.
Cheers, bud.
Thank you, James.
Before you go, James, I will just say that Papa Shano says you suck.
Yeah, he would. Okay.
Well, if you get on the, is my mic still on? Yeah. Well, if he put the money where the mouth is with Patreon, maybe.
There you go. Thanks, Tank. There you go. If you want to see Tank Strip, subscribe on Patreon. That's what he's just said. Oh, okay. We've got actual updates. Let's cut back. No, it's all right. We'll cut back to Tank. Do a bit of an update as well. So thank you for Zales for the follow.
Yeah, I've just got a few updates for you. Nick Nanavati's finally pushed out of his deployment zone against Boris Mitchev. Between his Flamer Bomb and his Aberrants, he's actually managed to kill about 60 orcs and quite a lot of Gretchen as well. So the Gene Stealer cult fight back is on in that one, and if he can get to those cannons and start touching them, that one will be game over. So it's still a game, but it's becoming a close one now. Konrad Barkowitz is really giving Rhys Robbins some headaches in their game. He got the first turn. He's not killed a lot, but he's essentially zoned out most aboard with all his flyers and fast-moving Eldar tanks. And Rhys is having some real headaches where to bring in his sort of damage-dealing reserve units, like his Vanguard vets. Conrad spread the table so well with all his planes. There's not many good places for Rhys to come in. Mark Crumbleholm is kind of continuing to sort of tighten the screw on George White. He's got him pinned in a corner, so Mark's got brilliant board position, and he's just gradually grinding him down, and it's turning more and more in his favour. As you've just seen before, James McKenzie decided to concede to Rickard Nielsen after they made like a big error which they couldn't really go back on, so he did the classy thing and gave Rickard the game there. And that takes us to all the ones still going, so I'll pass you back.
Thank you very much, Tank, for that update, and lots of love for James McKenzie in the chat for that honest move he did there. So top.
I think that's a really classy play.
Fair play to that man. You know, he made a mistake, he owned up to it, they called it. So, I mean, it's obviously gutting for him, but I mean, you know,
that's the right thing to do about it, right?
You know, it's swallowing your pride and saying, I've made a mistake, I'm going to do the right thing, which is super cool of him. So shout out to James. So we are live at the Invitational Knockout Tournament. It is round 2 of a 5-round event. We have three rounds left today, this one and 2 more afterwards.
Yeah.
And then we have the final tomorrow evening. We also have the main GT tomorrow. But we're going to tell you all about what's happening on these 2 tables. So on table 1, well, shout out to Shiveto. How you doing, man?
Just a quick update from table 1.
Quick update. So we have Innis versus Frankie Giampapa. Gene Stealer Cults versus White Scars.
Yep. At the end of Innis's, so obviously Innis has gone first, so we're not going to get a full update on the scores. But Innis did kill 4 units in that turn.
4 units?
4 units.
Well, it's about time he killed something. It's turn 3.
So we got his Butcher's Bill and his Reaper points in there.
Yeah.
Obviously, as well as his kill.
Yeah, sure.
and I'm sure he's holding, so lots of points picked up by Innis there.
Yeah, so you got kill 1 and hold 1 currently, and a couple of secondaries. So Reaper and...
So quite a few things happened on going over to table 2 now.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it is turn 3, Frankie's movement phase, but if you see this... Oh, we can't draw down that far. This here. Can you see that there, Elliot? What I'm drawing? Can you see that? There's like 6 units, like 6 models lined up. That means Frankie's got 6 units left to bring in from reserve. 2 of them being the 2 units of 20 acolytes with 8 mining rock saws.
Lovely.
Cool. Good AV. So let's cut to table 2. We have Joshua Death with Space Marines versus Mr. Stephen T-Mox with Ultramarines, also Space Marines, funnily enough.
So we just got to wrap up Josh's shooting phase. So Josh fired a missile launcher at the Leviathan.
Nice.
He was hitting on 5s.
Okay.
So pretty bad. He did wound it though. He hit and he wound. He did 1 wound to it after a failed save for 1 damage.
Okay.
But then he used a command point, obviously, and got a straight 5. So 5 damage going through to the Leviathan. I believe, if my math is right, that leaves the Leviathan on 3 wounds. So that's pretty cool. Oh, the Repulsor, sorry.
Okay. The Repulsor.
I got ahead of myself. I haven't even written Repulsor.
Because it was -2 to hit, because it had popped smoke and Tigerius had made it -1 for the battle round.
Yeah.
So it's currently table 2. Table 2 is round 2 now. It's turn 2. So if we cut back to table 1, it's starting to get a little bit more interesting now, because Frankie is moving, but then he'll get his final deployment phase.
Yeah, so it's the redeployment phase.
Yeah. So do you guys expect Frankie to cause a giant upset, because this looks like Innis has had it? So Innis is dominating the board, but Frankie has so much left in reserve, and Innis, I don't think he's done enough damage yet.
Nope.
He's only done like 1 damage smite.
I mean, I don't even, as I'm going to keep saying throughout this weekend, I don't know much about competitive 40k. But at the same time, it kind of felt to me like he'd whiffed those first turns.
Yeah, so
he hadn't done as much damage as I always expect somebody in that position to have to do.
Yeah, Innis has a lot of bolter fire, and all of the gene stealers are really, really easy to kill. So you would expect him to just mince stuff, but he's just not. It's just there's so much left. Well, there's a lot less than there was. Obviously, most of the bikes are dead now, but Frankie has like 6 more units to bring on. Some of them can come on after turn 3. So it's still on in the game at the minute. And I mean, Innis is winning 12-7, but it's Frankie's turn 3. So when is the Tank versus Stephen Box arm wrestle going down? Okay. I'm sure we can organise that for you, lovely fellows.
Just a quick update on table 2.
Let's cut to table 2.
Yeah. So at the end of the shooting phase, I was getting stuck into that before. You swapped to table 1. I had to be quiet.
Oh, sorry.
How dare you? So, just quickly, the morale. Steve had lost 8 of his 9 intercessors.
Ouch, okay.
Oh no, he'd lost 8, sorry, there's 10. But obviously the leadership 9. He failed, he rolled a 6, so it would have killed them. But he used his I'm a Space Marine and I'm really brave reroll. Got a 1, the intercessors have stayed.
And they shall know no fear.
And it does mean that Steve holds on for 4-3 because Josh was able... Well, Josh, interestingly, he took kill more.
Yeah.
And he obviously got the kill 1.
Sure.
He chose to go for Headhunter instead of Butcher's Bill. Could you shed light onto...
So, some of the secondaries in the ITC have little asterisks next to them. What that means is you can't stack them.
Okay.
So what that means is if you kill multiple units for, let's say you take... Mark for Death and Big Game Hunter shooting a Repulsor, for example. They can't stack.
Okay.
So what that means is if you kill the Repulsor, you have to choose how you score with it. So you either go for Mark for Death, or you go for Big Game Hunter. So Mark for Death is choosing over power level 7, and Big Game Hunter is killing a unit with 7 or more wounds. Yeah. So the reason you choose is because, for example, in this scenario, Headhunter is kill characters, and Butcher's Bill is kill 2 units a turn. So Steve has a limited number of characters on the board, so he has 4, right? So he can score that secondary up to a maximum of 4 times in Headhunter because there's only 4 characters, whereas Butcher's Bill is kill 2 units in 1 turn. So there's no limitation of what he kills to do that, if that makes sense. So essentially, you've got Headhunter, which is kill a character to get a point, or you have Butcher's Bill, kill 2 units. So Joshua, if he chose to use the character as 2 kills, then he'd limit his amount of headhunters he's get, but he can also get Butcher's Bill on any 2 units for the rest of the game. So by taking it for Headhunter, he's going to be able to max out both secondaries in this scenario. If he didn't, he wouldn't be able to max out, so he'd be denying himself a point in that regard. So it's a good play, it's the right thing to do, and it does happen sometimes. It's things like Big Game Hunter and Old School that don't stack. So if you first strike and you only kill 1 model, and it's a Big Game Hunter, you either have to take it on Big Game Hunter or first strike. So you have to decide whether you can get those points that you're about to lose elsewhere in the game. For example, first strike, you can't. So you would take it with first strike.
Yeah, that makes sense to me now. So he's got more opportunities to score Butcher's Bill.
Yes.
So he's going to try and score his Headhunter early, so that later on in the game he can just sort of focus on Butcher's
Exactly.
Bill. That's less specialised, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's just kill 2 units. Whereas whereas Headhunter, if he's only got 4 characters, that's 4 opportunities to score it. Whereas Butcher's Bill, as long as he's got 2 units on the board, he could score it 6 times essentially.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're limited to 4, but 6 opportunities to score it. So there you go. Hopefully that made sense. Me and Elliot racking our brains, banging our heads together to try and get it out. It's been a long day already. We do have 2 more games after this as well. So
I think we're doing well.
We're doing all right.
Don't knock yourself.
There you go. So have we got an update from one of the tables? We are going to get an update from one of the tables. We're going to find out.
In table 1, I do have an update already.
On table 1?
Yes.
Let's cut over to table 1. Let's go and see what Innes and Frankie are up to. The pointing fingers and stuff. There you go. Look, see, pointing.
So it's the end of Frankie's movement phase. He only brought 1 unit in his deployment phase.
Okay. So imagine that was the unit that didn't go back into reserve, so that's the one that's allowed to come after turn 3.
So it was a squad of 20 acolytes with the mining lasers. They rolled a 6 for their ambush roll, and are now 3 inches away from Innes.
Yeah, so there is a unit of 20. Let me find the list. It is a unit of 20 acolyte hybrids with heavy.
Sorry, I've just been told that's Roxars.
Yeah, 8 Roxars.
Not mining lasers.
Yeah, mining lasers are on the bikes, but that's okay. So the Roxars, again, they're really good in combat, like 3 or 4 attacks each, strength 10 with the psychic powers, -4 and 2 damage, but there's just so many attacks when there's 8 of them, and then all the rest of the unit get the rending claws as well. So just good at killing anything in the game in a minute. So the Preacher is saying that Frankie's going to win. I'd probably agree. I don't think Innes has done enough. So he has the Scorpiuses and the Thunderfire cannons in the bottom corner, down here, which are going to be really good at clearing off all the light armored units. But like the rest of the board, the rest of the board, like Innes' army is like here. That's it. There's an eliminator on top of these L shapes. Let's get a side view so you can see. See if we can have a look. So we have a couple of eliminators on top of the buildings.
The bubble that he has. He has a really good bubble.
Yeah. So about the Phobos captain.
I believe so. Yeah. So it's hard, obviously. Does that affect the cult ambush rules then as well? Because they're technically you're bringing something in from reserve.
Yeah. So because of the IRATA's not in, the Phobos captain has a 15-inch denial for setting units up.
Right.
But if that's in the middle of the board, I've just seen that Nick is here wearing your face. Sadly, it's not on camera, but there you go. So he's wearing your face, Elliot.
I still find it very, very bizarre. I'm like,
man is wearing a contrasting T-shirt.
I'm a weird mix of freaked out and humbled whenever I see it.
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre. There you go. He's gone now. So where is the Phobos captain located, Toby? Can you point it out on stream? Can you do a finger? The Phobos captain.
Show us where the bubble is, Toby.
Show where's the bubble start. Here we go.
Show us the Phobos bubble butt.
Wait for a finger. Oh, he's dead. Okay, so Toby was informing us, badly. So, oh well. So that captain's died, but what's happened is he's created a bubble with the units he's got left. That's what he was saying. So there we go. He did have the 15-inch denial before he died. Apologies for that.
Before it died, yeah. So just go into table 2 quickly, because we've got quite a few updates from there we need to get through.
Wait for it.
So, just at the end of the movement phase, Steve has essentially, I think he's hurting from losing Tiggy. So he's started screening with his units. He's worried about the smash chaplain. I can tell you that at the opening salvo of the shooting phase was the eliminators find into the back librarian, causing 2 wounds.
Okay.
And I believe I'm about to get some more info from Danny. Looks like he's about to say something.
I'm having a technical issue with the microphone. So you go.
So the Leviathan is now shooting at some Marines.
Okay.
The Marines on the hill, perfect. So they were the ones that caused the damage to Tiggy. So vengeance for Tiggy is going on at the moment.
So the Leviathan is shooting this way.
I have to correct myself. The Eliminators did do 2 damage, but they also scored a mortal wound as well.
Nice. Okay. So 3
So
wounds.
3 damage on the bike librarian altogether on table 2.
FTG Evans says, "Is there a bracket available? If you can be more precise, I'll be able to hopefully be able to answer." But yeah, so these games are really like starting to heat up at the minute. As said, Frankie's game.
Just quickly, that Leviathan did finish off the Marines.
Okay, so those Marines are gone. They got scooped. The Repulsor's nicely hiding. Let's see if I can actually see it on the second camera.
Toby.
So the Repulsor's hiding in between the 2 L
12
shapes.
and 20.
So it's like here, which is a super nice place for it to be. So it can I think it's focusing, shooting at these guys and hiding from these guys. So that's the idea with the Repulsor, I think, at the minute.
The information's coming thick and fast now. See, this is what we said. In about an hour's time, we'd be flying.
Yeah.
So there, just quickly, there are 2 squads of bikes left on table 1 for Frankie.
Table 1.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry. So there's 1 squad of bikes left at 12, and there's a unit of 20 acolytes. I believe the unit that ambushed the acolytes have just made their charge.
Wow. Okay, that's big. That's really big.
I mean, they were never going to fail their 3-inch charge. But...
No.
Yeah.
It's like impossible. Well, you got to be more than 3, so you have to roll. You got to roll more than a 2. Oh, because they get +1 to charge when they come out. Oh, okay, so 4-round Emperor. So when they come out of reserve, they get +1 to charge. So if you roll a double 1, it's a 3-inch charge. So you're within. You can't fail a 4-inch charge. Cool. GG. To see the pairing, so we don't have that public, but we've been trying to keep everyone up to date. So,
yeah, essentially.
But we're going to be giving you a full rundown of who's still in after this round.
There is an hour and 20 minutes left in this round.
Certainly is. And then we start the next one. Straight away.
Immediately, yeah.
Immediately. We're going to have to take 20 minutes out, I think.
Yeah, there might be a welfare break on the cards.
Yeah.
But I mean, as we saw at the start of this game, the first sort of 20, 30 minutes of it is admin and movement.
Yeah, exactly. So we had an interview with Highlander, who is out after the first round. We had an interview with James McKenzie, who's out after the second round after he made a mistake and took the loss, which is super cool of him. Fair play to that guy. Tank's doing a quick walk round of the remaining tables to find out who's still playing and who's still in, and we'll be able to give you a full update of that. So entirely unknown. I don't know who you are, but thanks for the follow. And the Jughead Mania, thank you very much for the follow, appreciate it. Thank you very much everyone tuning in. We are live all weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday from 9 AM till 11 PM BST, streaming all of the hot 40k action. So it is turn 2, time 2, I don't know what you're saying. It's round 2.
I was asking you to lead me into table 2, so I don't have to keep going.
Okay.
And now more news on table 2, guys.
What you could say is, so why don't we cut to table 2?
Why don't we cut to table 2?
Thank you, Elliot. Why don't we?
So,
tell me about it. What's happening here?
Just little tiny bits of shooting. So the Venerable Dreadnought and the Thunderfire Cannon have both fired into Marines.
Okay.
The Thunderfire Cannon is the Marines in front of the hill. The Venerable Dread has fired at the Marines that are more central to the board.
Okay, that was Joshua playing with right now. Looks like it. This one here.
Yeah.
These ones here.
Apparently we've got some spicy news on table 1.
I heard, spicy news on table 1. Shall we cut to table 1?
Spicy news.
Wait for it. We're going, go. What's happening? What's happening, Toby? Toby, tell me all about it. What's happening? Toby and Danny are doing an amazing job at being table bossers. They are legends. Yeah, Manny was playing Eldar Fighters. He actually lost to Joshua Deff, who was on table 2.
So,
spicy news. Jump. You get close. Don't tell anyone.
Frankie had declared a charge against a number of things. One of which was the infiltrators.
One against
eliminators.
The eliminators. Yes, the ones where
if they instigated belt guns, fired Overwatch, and then moved to screen the characters. So now Frankie can't get into combat with the characters.
No, that's terrible.
Sorry, that was eliminators, not infiltrators.
Yeah, the sniper boys, the laminators.
I thought they had like a heavy bolt rifle or something.
So
not
they
an
have
instigator.
So they have the bolt sniper rifles on the unit, but then the sergeant can now take an instigator bolt carbine, which is it's like a super funky bolt gun.
Yep.
But when he shoots it in Overwatch, he can then move with the unit.
So their sergeant has allowed them to move.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, move.
That's
move, boys.
Very spicy.
Very sneaky, that isn't it? Sneakier than Jinx of the Cults.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to get a full update from Tank. Tank's ready. Tank's going to give us a full update of who's still playing
Raring
in the
to
Invitational Knockout.
Okay, everyone, we've got 4 games still going on outside the stream. Simon Pridis against Joe Milam. That's turned into a bit of a crazy game. They've both not got loads left. The Drukhari are basically down to 1 Ravager and some characters, but they have got into the tower lines and started touching things. The tower have got 2 Riptides and some broadsides left, but the broadsides are being touched by Yori and Rakarth and some other characters. Simon just had a really whiffy shooting turn, which has kind of put the game right on a knife edge. He told me his turn was salvaged because a Riptide killed the last Talos in combat hilariously. Mark Crumbleholm and George White, this game is also on a knife edge, extremely close. George White's Knights just refused to die. He's still got all 3 of them left, although all of them have got like 3 or 4 wounds each. Mark told me that he whiffed on his last shooting phase, and I think he's getting a bit frustrated now that he can't kill 1 or 2 of these Knights. Conrad and Reese Robbins. Conrad's really in the driving seat against Reese now and giving him a really hard time. Looking at it, unless there's something I'm missing, I think we'll sort of see them call that game fairly soon because Reese seems to be running out of things and Conrad's still got lots of horrible Eldar planes zipping around, clearing things off the board. Nick Nanavati and Boris Mitchev. Nick said to me that he thinks Boris might take this game. It's very close on the score. Nick's got bottom of turn and he's just playing his 3rd turn now, but it's currently 14-11 to Boris, with Nick to take his 3rd turn still. Nick told me that he'd made a bit of an uncharacteristic sort of risky play for him and it didn't really pay off. From an outside view, it looks like it's very close in terms of what units they've got left, and Boris may be having a slight board position advantage, but it's a close one, that, and we'll keep tabs on it because it's very interesting, and that's all I've got for you for now.
So there you go, that was Tank with the live update of all the games still being played in the Invitational. This is the Invitational Knockout Tournament, the pre-warm-up event for some of the best players in the world. And we are in round 2. We are looking at 2 games. Currently we're on table 2, looking at Joshua Death versus Mr. Stephen Box. Are we going to talk about that on table 1?
Just quickly going towards table 1.
Let's go to table 1.
That Acolyte unit that charged, got its 3-inch charge, has killed a unit of aggressors, a unit of scouts, and a unit of eliminators, all in one combat phase.
Okay.
Big swing. I think I got smacked by that door. I think everybody in this room did.
So obviously he has a unit
wide
of
open.
20 Acolytes, so it is 20 with 8 Roxors in there, which is really good. Super cool. So this is a big counter-attack by Frankie because Innis, I don't think he did enough in those first turns.
He didn't do enough, no.
He's kind of shot loads and loads and loads of bolters at guardsmen, so we just like, we'll just leave it, and then we realised nothing happened after that. So, So there you go. So shall we cut to table 2?
Yeah, so there's a few things happened on. Obviously, we had the bunch of shooting. The Thunderfire cannon didn't kill the Marines.
Okay.
Stephen was and ahhing about whether he was going to spend 2 command points to make sure he killed them. Decided not to. But at the end of Stephen's turn 2, he did get marked for death. He got kill 1
and hold 1.
And hold 1. At the moment, unless Josh can return, he will get hold more. We'll just have to see at the end of Josh's turn 2.
Turn 2, yeah.
Turn 2, yeah, because Steve went first.
Yeah, exactly. So it's currently we're in the bottom of turn 2, as it would be known.
Yeah, the bottom of turn 2.
Bottom of turn 2. So we've got a very nice bottom as turn 2. There you go. Turbo as well. If you want to know anything about any of the players, what we'll do, we'll try and get Tank to get an interview because we have multiple people. There is currently a team of 6 of us. we're absolutely 5 of us. We're absolutely bossing life right now. Danny's having a great. Danny's sat down chill with Steve, just having a great time. Toby's table bossing. He's keeping up with the scores on table 1. Tank is currently running around with all the other players in the event to find out what's happening just for you guys. So if there's any players that you're watching and you want to see what they're doing, we'll try and find out, and if we can, we'll try and interview them. So there you go. So we're going to get a full update from table 1 because Toby's just been doing loads of admin. So let's cut over to table 1. Obviously, Frankie just hit back with that huge swing of the Acolytes deleting like 3 units. So do we know what else has happened on that table?
So we just got a quick score update, that's all. So it is 12-10 to Innis at the moment.
There you go. So Frankie they both killed the same amount of units. Looks like it. They both got kill 1, they both got hold 1. And then Frankie got hold more, which is expected as a Gene Stealer Cult player. Yeah. So, Boom Cakes, thank you very much for the follow. What a wicked name. Hello there, how are you? So, we're going into round 4 for table 1. Currently on the secondaries, Frankie has 2 more headhunters to get. He has 3 more recons, which just have units all over the board. And then 4 more behind enemy lines, which is not going to be able to max out now. He's only got 3 turns to score it. And then Innis has Butcher's Bill, which is kill 2 units in turn. The Reaper, which is kill another 40 models. And Engineers, which is hide with some units to get points. So basically have a unit holding an objective and not do anything else. So it's really close. It's really heating up on this table. It was really... They both look like they're having a great time. They both seem like legends. But the thing is, it was really like just rolling dice at each other all these days. But now... Frankie's here and he's just like, I really like this fight, so I'm going to bring 2 sledgehammers. Here's the first one. Number 2, which is another 20 Acolytes with 8 rock swords, is coming in soon. Because of this stratagem where they go back into reserve during deployment, so when you deploy some blips, you can put some back into reserve. Because they've been on the board, they essentially ignore the reserves rule. So they can come on in any turn. So this is super, super strong. You have such a hard-hitting unit being able to come in later. Just use 1 unit to kill the screen, use all the bites to kill the screens and any big stuff, and then pile in with Acolytes and Rock Swords. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just insane. It's just absolutely insane. Again, strength 10, -4, 2 damage, and like 4 attacks each, which is just mad. Just absolutely mad. Well, there you go. You can see the lovely back of Innis's head. It's a very nice sweeping haircut today. He's looking great in a nice light blue t-shirt. It really helps his eyes. He's actually got Space Marine on his t-shirt, which I didn't notice before, but there you go. He's part of Team Scotland of the ETC. Talk about his nice t-shirt. It's nice. It's a cool t-shirt. Tell Innis he's got a cool t-shirt, Toby. I like how I just shouted commands at him now. So you've got to...
Team Finland shirt from the ETC, apparently.
Oh, is it Team Finland? There you go. So what you need to do, Toby, is tell Innis he's got a nice shirt and ask Frankie if he wrote this rules pack. They're the 2 jobs you've got. and pronounce how you pronounce his surname, yeah. But don't interrupt his game too much, but make sure you get it. Get that info.
So just giving you a quick update on Table 1. The Acolytes weren't able to wrap anything, so Innis has been able to fall back.
That's really good.
Yeah, he does now have 2 whirlwinds and the Thunder Fire Cannon, and he's just going to shred through those Acolytes.
Thanks, Neil.
Was that Toby just confirming that he has killed everything?
Let's cut to a side view anyway.
Ah, right, yeah. So they were too efficient. They couldn't wrap anything, those Acolytes, and they've now opened themselves up. Yeah, they did kill a lot, but now they're going to be shredded. But there's still obviously stuff to come in from reserve. We've got those 12 bikes with demolition charges, which are going to be nasty when they arrive.
We've got unit of bikes, another unit of Acolytes, and a couple of characters, I believe, in reserve still. Yeah. So,
and a really quick update from Table 2. I've just been told that the aggressors have moved into the building in the centre with the eliminators on the ground floor closest to the objective.
Yeah. Yes, Frankie Giampapa, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Frankie Game Master. Dungeon Master Papa. Or Papa Dungeon Master, I guess.
Papa Dungeon Master sounds like a very bad name.
Yep.
I would not want to be called Pappy Dungeon Master at all.
So that is Table 1. It is Innis's turn 4 currently. The score is 12-10 to Innis. It's still dominating. I apologise about the command points. Oh, the command points... have still not updated, so there you go. I don't think Innis has 12 command points left, so there you go. So, do we have an update coming from Table 2? No? Nothing's happening on Table 2. Or maybe it is. I can see Dan talking. His luscious lips are whispering.
So,
So what's happening on table 2? Let's find out.
So Josh is just moving to try and get in line of sight of the repulsor. That's what this movement phase has been about.
Yeah, so we have, let's see if we can draw on screen, we have the repulsor sat in between these two big L shapes, and then the stalkers have all moved forwards. So there you go. So they're trying to get in line of sight because it's hiding perfectly.
Yeah.
Exactly where it needs it to be. And you can
As we can see, he's almost like, I've just been told he's castling up. There's a few things that are advanced forward.
Yeah.
But for the most part, Josh is actually pulling back into that corner now.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's good because it's stopping a lot of his shots, but also Steve's dominating the board at the minute.
Yeah.
Because all of Josh's stuff. Where's my mouse? All Josh's stuff is just here. It's like it's just there. Whereas Steve has the rest of the board, which is super strong. Really good position to be in. I just want to say, like, I've seen a lot of the American players have lots of Magic the Gathering Psychic Power cards, which I think are super cool. They all have custom cards and stuff. So it looks like Josh is doing some deep striking.
Josh's Tech Marine has been very busy.
Yeah, what's he been doing?
Put the Scorpius back up to full wounds.
Wow, okay. And it looks like Josh is going to do some deep striking as well. He's got a drop pod in his hand. It's so weird seeing all these drop pods. Can you remember 2 years ago when everyone sold them?
You can imagine him running up. Don't worry, brothers.
There you go. So the drop pod's deep striking in. Look at that. He's got a handy whappy stick. You can buy these now at hellstormwargaming.co.uk/shop.
In our capitalist ventures.
Yes, death to capitalism.
Buy our premium snap.
However, you can also get a discount if you subscribe to Hellstorm Premium. So yeah, it's just deep striking. Do we know what's in the drop pod? What's in the drop pod? We're going to find out. So, Legion of the Damned are in the drop pod. So imagine they are, let's have a look. So it might be a tactical squad. Because it's not intercessors. It might, do we know? All got melters.
All got melters.
I'm trying to look for this unit. He's got intercessors, which can
Okay.
go in. They can't go in. He's got tactical squad, maybe with melter gun. I think it's a tactical squad with a melter
A
gun.
Danger Mouse would like to know what you're bringing to FHGT next week. The what, sorry? So if we go over to stream table 2,
Let's go to table 2 while we find out what's in there.
we can have a look. The Chaplain has actually dropped behind the Thunderfire Cannon. The Smash Chaplain.
So you might not be able to see very well, but it's actually here. There's a little character there, the Smash Chaplain.
Danger Mouse in reply, it's either going to be Skaven or something of blood. An Age of Sigmar type thing. Tyrants of Blood, yes. It's all fantasy, isn't it? All fantasy. Not like this. This is super realistic and cool. So in the shooting phase on table 1, I know we're on table 2 at the moment, but just quickly, Innis was able to kill all of those acolytes and is now currently assaulting the Broodlord. So he has done. So he's killed both of the Broodlords. He has had a good turn, but as we've talked about, there is still 20 acolytes and 12 bikes to come back in. So still all to play for.
So in the drop pod, there is 2 5-man tactical squads. It is not Legion of the Damned. They just look like the Legion of the Damned. So there you go.
So just very, very cool models.
2 5-man tactical squads. There's both sergeants have a combi melter, and then another guy has a melter
This
as well.
is back on table 1, by the way. Table 2, sorry.
Table 2.
Yeah, because I've just been talking about table 1, that's all.
I apologise. Which one do you want to look at, Elliot? Which one looks prettier right now?
Well, I think we've missed the assault phase over there. 2 Broodlords have just died,
Apologies.
and all the acolytes died.
Yeah, I was trying to find out what was in this drop pod that's currently deep striking.
We have missed that, so probably table 2, because there's still quite a bit of measuring going on over there.
The slap plane, yes, that is the new hotness. It's not Smash Captains.
The Slapplin.
It's not Slam Gwinius, it's the slap plane.
Charlie Slapplin.
Charlie Slapplin, yeah. Oh wow, the info on this screen is amazing. So I apologise for the delays. We are trying our best. We're doing all right. Problem is, it's because it's one of those events where you have the best players in the world, and the best players in the world don't paint all the models in the world because they need the best army. So sometimes they use proxies and stuff. So he's using Legion of the Damned, so Dan got confused and then I got confused. So there we go. It's just a tactical squad. That's what we found out. So Smash chaps are nasty, yes they are. So yeah, so this is it's interesting. So Josh needs to hit back. I imagine the Leviathan is going to take 4 melter guns this turn.
Yep.
Because Steve is low on command points. So there you go. So we'll cut back to table 1. Apologies. So a little bit ad hoc in the minute. We'll get there though.
Yeah, so table 1, Innis really could have done... I mean, that was a very good turn.
Yeah.
But as we've talked about, I guess it kind of doesn't matter how good these turns are because I feel like the damage was done early on. So, whilst he's having good turns...
He didn't do enough early on.
He didn't do enough early on, and that he's going to
so
pay
many
for that
shots and he
later
was
on.
just whiffing all over. But, I mean, Innis is still dominating most of the board at the minute. So, he's created a really good screen. He's got a really good screen, a bit lower down, sorry, here. And then he's got all these units here, which is screening out here. So Frankie's limited to deep striking outside, which is not what he wants to do. He wants to be inside the juicy bit, not outside the castle. So we are going to get a full update from the Tobster.
Has he maxed Reaper?
Yeah, so he's maxed out Reaper currently. He's got 3 Butcher's Bill and 3 Engineers. Currently got kill 1 and hold 1 in that turn.
So I've just been told he only has 1 left to score on Engineers and Butcher's Bill each.
Yeah, exactly.
He did score a massive 7 points in that round.
Yeah, so it's 19-10 currently to Frankie.
Killed 5 units.
Oof. That's a lot.
That is some serious work.
I imagine Innis will end up getting kill more unless Frankie hits back with his demolition charges and his acolytes. So it sounds like Josh has just made a fatal mistake that he tells everyone else not to do. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. Are you okay, Elliot? How are you doing? This is the first time you've ever commentated on an event.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I wish I knew more about competitive 40k.
You're doing your best, though. That's why he's having all the information fed to him.
Yeah.
He can sound like he knows what he's doing.
Sponge. I'm the sponge.
Yeah, you just take the knowledge. I just talk rubbish. So Frankie's still got quite a lot of secondaries to score. He's still got behind enemy lines, but Innis is quite happily, currently, denying him all of that. So,
what was the fatal mistake, Mikey? I'd be quite interested to know.
Does Danny know what the fatal mistake was? What Joshua said? Do I tell people not to do this on my podcast, and I did it? Do we know what that was? Let's cut to table 2 while we find out. So Josh said, I don't tell people not to do this on my podcast, and I did it. What did he do? We're going to find out just for you guys. That's what we're here to do. We're bringing the hot information to you when needed. So I was hoping when I said that it triggered Danny to tell me, but then he didn't tell me, so there you go. I'll tell you though. It's coming right now. Which one? Okay. So while we're waiting about this big mistake, but before the 4 melter guns go into the Leviathan, Steve had just used the half damage on the Dreadnought. So he's used half damage from all the melter guns. So the max he's going to be able to do is 9 wounds, but we'll see. That's the max if he rolled all hit, all wounds, failed all his saves, and rolled 6 damage for each one. So what was the big mistake, Elliot?
So I found out why he was throwing his arms up in the air was because he
tell me. Start from the top.
The chaplain came down with his zombie melter. I believe he fired it into the Thunderfire cannon. I'm going to get a shake of the head or a nod.
Into the Thunderfire cannon?
Into the Thunderfire cannon.
Yeah.
It didn't do the damage that he needed. Mm-hmm. Decided not to re-roll it, and then did the hypothetical roll, and rolled and got what he needed. And that's why he threw his arms up.
Okay.
So I guess it's kind of that whole idea of don't tease yourself with what you're not going to be having.
If you're not going to do it, don't do it anyway. So, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So, Thorngradmeister...
I believe that
go on.
he has spent the 2 command points for the stratagem to half damage as well.
Yeah,
in this turn.
on the Dreadnought. Yeah.
Yeah. So the melters have just from the Dread Pod. from the Dread Pod.
The Dread Pod.
From the drop pod have all unloaded into Leviathan. The Leviathan has tanked it and only actually taken 2 wounds from all the melters.
Yeah. We are aware of the stream lag at the minute. I apologise, guys. There's not a lot we can do right now. We're just going to have to ride it out and hopefully it moves on. Sometimes this happens when you're streaming so much awesome hot 40k action. This just happens. So there you go. It's a little bit laggy, but hopefully you can hear what we're saying. That's the main thing. We're just dropping a few frames right now. So on table 1, it looks like Innis is just spreading out, and Frankie's going to do his final hit. This is like all or nothing.
Yeah.
At this point, he's got to send in another unit. What's he bringing on, Toby? The final unit of bikes. The final unit of bikes are coming on, and they've got to just try and clear out some units so the acolytes can get to the juicy targets in the middle. It looks like we've picked back up on the frame, so it will catch up in a few moments.
So the acolytes have moved in.
Yeah.
They got a 6-inch deployment away from the enemy,
okay, so they've come in again.
So it's a 6-inch charge. Sorry, Toby, how far away are they? It's a 6-inch charge.
So they got rolled the 3 for that. So they got a 6-inch charge. So they're just over 6 away, and they get +1. So there you go.
And the bikes are just coming in now.
Yeah. So the bikes are just deploying.
So this will be the turn where it's decided. It must be.
Yeah. Let's see if we can get a better view on that. So there we go. We're just setting up the bikes now. He's trying to measure out where he can place them. Oh, lots of tape measures coming out. They're measuring each other's tape measures at the minute.
Just quickly on table 2, the Hunters have fired into Leviathan and left it on 2 wounds.
Okay.
So that Leviathan has been tanking this damage.
Loving life, isn't he? He's been toughness 9 for a turn. He was -1 to hit. He's just and a half damage.
He's been a pain. So Josh has been trying really hard to kill that.
Yeah. So where's he going to place those bikes? Who knows? What's happening now? And so they're both measuring. They're both comparing each other's 9 inches to make sure they're putting it in the right place. So there you go. We're going to get a proper update as well. Innis looks well happy. He's pointing the thumbs up. He says, going to plan. So what's happening?
Because of the bubble that Innis has created, the bikes are struggling to get where they need to be.
Frankie's doing that laugh where it's like, oh, damn, this isn't working.
Yeah, so he's brought his bikes in and he's realised that he can't really do
yeah, that's it. He's
what
kicking
he wanted
his
to do
back
with
under
them.
the table like, go away, you guys, you rubbish. So let's have a quick look at the second view of the top for table 2. The Leviathan is currently still on 2 wounds. It's just tanking there with, I believe that's a Centurion is that a Centurion?
So Leviathan's down to 1 wound now.
Yeah.
The conversion beam from the Tech Marine fired at it.
Who's behind the Leviathan? Is that a Centurion that's actually Marnie's Calgar? I'm pretty sure that's what I heard.
Yeah, it's the converted model. Yeah.
The converted model. Inverted commas.
Yeah.
So that is Marnie's Calgar behind the Leviathan, providing reroll all hits. Which is go. We got some saves to make. We heard a no man god from the rest of the event.
Ooh.
I don't like it.
So that was a save to keep the Leviathan alive. He's rolled a 3.
So I presume it's a 4+ to save him.
Steve is now considering
Team box. Back him up, team box.
CP re-rolling it.
He's gonna go for it. He's doing it. He's doing it. He's done it. What did he roll? What did he roll?
He's done it.
He's made the save. He's made the save. Thank God for that. Oh, I was panicking.
Ooh. So that 1 command point looks like it's going to force Josh to use the Scorpius to fire into the Leviathan.
I want to say, because it's such a nice comment, that Dick has texted me and said, "You guys are rocking the stream. Such a pleasure to watch." Well, thank you very much, Mr. Diagnosis, Mr. Dick Vanderhaas. Appreciate it, man. Cadian Ranger, how you doing, man? Welcome to the stream.
Welcome to the stream.
I just want to say thank you very much to everyone tuning in right now. We are 134 viewers, which is our most viewers we've ever had ever. So there you go. So I really, really appreciate it. You're amazing. Leviathan's falling over. Just leave it there, Steve. Leave it. Oh, he's taking it.
So the first round from the Leviathan, from the Scorpius, has killed the Leviathan. Spoilers ahead.
Sad Leviathan. So Marnius Calgar in inverted commas. The Centurion of the Ultramarines. He is the Centurion of the Ultramarines.
Praetor.
Paradox Era, thank you very much for following, dude. Really appreciate it. So the Repulsor is still hiding in the middle with the couple of eliminators and other stuff. Ruben has also said, nice stream. Thank you, man. It's just what's on my phone. It's just popping up. I love you, Ruben. I also love you, Dick. So there you go. I would say I love Dick, but you know. Oops,
You've said it. You've said it now. You've said it for the internet to hear.
It's a name, everybody. Everyone watching at home, children. It's a name of a person, and he's a legend. So it looks like he's removing a couple of infantry units. I believe they're scouts or intercessors. Yeah, there's a couple of intercessors being removed.
Well, hello there.
Don't say that name. Say it in your head.
Leak Madik. What?
Now say it in your head without an accent.
I can't hear Tobias.
He is such an idiot. Elliot has never been on the internet before, clearly. Got him.
Right, so it sounds like table 1 is going to revolve around the Acolyte charge.
Okay.
He didn't have the command point to do what he needed to do with the demolition charges.
Okay.
While bringing them in, and now it's just he's relying on small arms fire now to try and pick the Marines apart. If the charge doesn't go off, it won't happen.
Yeah, exactly. So do you want to look at that username again? You can't hear it, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, so the demolition charge bikes, charged bikes, are going in, trying to kill the rest of the screen, and then he can charge in, hopefully.
So I've just been told the Scorpius has fired 3 times. He's used a stratagem to fire a 3rd time.
Yep, suppression fire it's called, 2 CP.
Suppression fire. Them aggressors that I told you about that were in the middle of the board, gaining on those eliminators, are now all dead.
And they're all dead.
They're all dead. The Scorpius has done bits.
It looks like this game might be swinging towards Josh, even though Josh is currently losing on the score. So I'm just going to mute the microphone 1 second.
The champion.
Sorry about that. So the Centurion of the Ultramarines is trying to command what little forces he has left.
So the champion is charging. It is used a stratagem.
The chaplain.
The chaplain, yeah, sorry.
In the bottom left corner, guys, on the screen. Into all the Thunderfire cannons.
He's used the stratagem to roll 3d6 and choose the 2 highest.
Yeah, because the chaplain is White Scars. So there you go. So double 6 charge.
So if we want to go to table 1, the Acolytes are going to be charging. This is probably what the game swings on.
Just Swede in the chat. This is terrible. So we're going to cut to table 1 anyway.
If the Acolytes don't make this charge, so Innis is firing his Overwatch at the moment, but if he doesn't make this charge, it could be a very tough game going forward.
Yeah, so the Acolytes on the right hand side are charging in.
Afternoon, I'm without.
It's interesting. Innis has got some Overwatch. On-call GM. On-call Giampapa, thank you very much for the follow.
So a 6-inch charge re-rolling, he should make that.
Here we go. That's the saves from Overwatch. Feeling the pain. So he's losing 4. Oh, just 3. Just lost 3 out of the unit of 20.
Danny, write it down and tell me in a minute.
So here we go. It's the charge roll. He only needs a 6. Oh, one's cocked. So there you go. He's made the charge. What did he roll for the charge? 13, because he gets +1 when he comes out of the reserve. So he needed a 6-inch re-rollable charge. He rolled a 13 just to be obnoxious. What a lad.
Right, so just quickly on table 2, the chaplain has killed the Tech Marine, the Thunderfire Cannon.
Cut to table 2.
And he has been able to consolidate into a unit, which is, I'm going to tell you right now what that unit is that he's consolidated into.
That's just here, guys, where the scribbly line is.
Please, Dan.
Dan's busy doing score. So he's consolidated into another Thunderfire Cannon.
Right, okay.
So you can just see it from here.
So it was a good move from that chaplain. That chaplain's done a lot of work. Shut down 2 Thunderfire Cannons by killing 1 and wrapping the other.
Nice.
Well, not wrapping, but getting into combat
touching
with it.
So it means it can't shoot. I mean, it's Ultramarines, so it can still pull out and still shoot, which a lot of people forget that Ultramarines can do.
Yeah.
Because it's on everything now, even vehicles, which is new. New in the latest codex. What time does the round end? This round ends at 5, so another 45 minutes on the clocks. We'll probably I'll ask Danny for an update of how much time is left on their clocks. Obviously, if they started a bit early, then there'll be less time. But yeah. So what we'll do is we'll cut back to table 1. And we'll
Table
find out.
1, where the bikes have just made a 10-inch charge.
There we go. There's the bikes going, moving into what's that unit that charge into? Is it intercessors? I think. So
Yeah, unit of intercessors.
So I imagine they're all going to die. So what we'll do, rather than watching the painful aggression, we'll cut to Tank for a full update for the rest of the event.
Hello. So, Simon Pridis and Joe Milam, this is continuing to be like a really grindy crap fest in the corner of the table. Neither of them have got much left. Simon Pridis has still got his riptides, although one's heavily wounded, which is quite a big deal for him. Joe Milam's just continuing to try and sort of jank out the game with some characters, and I think he's got one Ravager left still. So it's really close, that game. There's a couple of points in it either way. I don't know what's going to happen there. There's loads of sort of close combat jankiness with Simon trying to get himself free to shoot in that one. Excuse me. Mark Crumbleholm and George White. Mark's really pulling away on the points in that one now. He's 24-13 ahead, and he's finally managed to kill 2 of those knights. The first one, George decided not to try and get it back up because it was a Tyrannus knight. The second one, he did want to get it back up, but Mark Crumbleholm vectored it. So he's still got his 3 flyers left. Not much on the ground apart from some characters now. But George White is behind on points. He's got a couple of Punisher tank commanders, 1 knight which is quite healthy on 20 wounds, and some bits and bobs left. So George isn't in a terrible position, but he's got a lot to make up on the scoreboard because Mark pinned him in his corner early. Conrad and Reese tell me that Reese's exact words were, Conrad's totally kicking my ass, but I'm going to try and make the best of it and finish the game the best I can. When I went to the table just now, Reese had outflanked his scout bikers. He'd forgot about forewarning, and Conrad took advantage of that and shot off half the bike squad thanks to some bad saves from Reese. Nick Nanavati and Boris Mitchev. The game is still not really decided either way. Nick's he's got bottom of turn and he's just starting his 4th turn. Nick's pulled back to being 18-16 up now. He's killed all the boys. There's not really any screening left for Boris. And Boris essentially got smasher guns, looters and some characters left. Nick's not got a whole lot left. He's got a couple of aberrants with stop signs. He's got a few neophytes, and he's still got most of his good characters left. So he'll be looking to work some sort of janky tricks with his characters and tie up the cannons and close out the game by playing the mission. But I'll keep an eye on that one for you. And that's it from me. I'll pass you back to Mikey and Elliot.
Well, there you go, guys. Thank you very much to Tank for the update. So we don't have, a lot of people are asking, we don't have like a bracket of who's in and who's out. The organisers haven't provided one, so we're just going off what we've seen. We're going to try and do a full rundown of who's going into the next round at the end of these games. So we'll do our best. But if you've just joined us, welcome to the Hellstormwargaming live stream. We are live on twitch.tv/Hellstormwargaming. We have the Invitational Knockout Tournament, which started with 32 of the best players, or most known, controversially, 32 players from around the world, some of the best in the world playing in this knockout tournament. It's currently round 2, so there's only 16 players remaining going into this round. After this, there'll be 8 players in there, so we'll have even less tables to talk about. So that'll be interesting. So we've got table 2. It's looking like Josh is kind of gonna take this game, but Steve is giving it all his all to see what he can do. So do we know what's happened on this table while Tank was talking?
Not so much. I've just been told that we are going to be continuing on with that game. That's all the information I have at the moment.
Yeah, so
I have a bit more info on table 1 if you want to.
Yeah, I'll just before we go into it. I went over and chatted to the lads, see how it was going. I was kind of like looking where units are, and like Steve doesn't have a lot left at this point, and Josh still has the 3 hunters, which is super tough for him at the minute. But they're going to see how they can do it. So, table 1, we've just had a massive impact charge from Frankie with all of his Gene Stealer bikes and the 20 Acolytes which are in the middle of the board. So, well, I'll just cut to the top-down view and then we'll get a full update about what's happening on table 1. Elliot's having a great time, me asking all these questions and getting fed all this information. So what's happened on table 1, Elliot?
So essentially we just have the scores. So the bikes, it turns out, have done very well.
Yes, as you can see with Frankie's score, we're scoring 4 of the primary points.
Yeah, so at the end I'm told that he gets hold and kill more.
Yep.
As well as, yep, so there you go, they're all on there. You got 3 headhunter points that turn,
so maxed that
and
one out
recon.
Now, which is super good.
So,
and a behind enemy lines as well, which is the first one of the game.
Lots of points, lots of points.
Compared
so
to Innis's kill 1 and hold 1. So now they are in round 5.
And it's 19 to Innis and 18 to Frankie. So Innis just holding out. But Frankie's closing that gap.
Yeah, there's still 2 turns of the game left.
And Moon Tyrannid did call this a little bit earlier on because he said Gene Stealer Court will do their most damage in the later game. They will win it in the late game.
Yeah, that's the thing with these 2 armies. Space Marines Alpha and Gene Stealer's weight, they're definitely like a turn 3, turn 4 army. This is where they start doing the most point damage and getting the most points. So,
yeah. So like we've just been talking about with Toby, he's saying that if the Whirlwinds and the Flood Gun have a good turn, it could swing it again entirely because they are easily enough to kill the Acolytes and bikes.
Yeah, because they're so squishy. They hit hard, but they are really squishy. So we are trying to give a full rundown of the games we know about. Before the end of the stream, we'll be going through who's going into the next round.
Yep.
All the lists can be found on Facebook, but all the lists on the stream can be found in the panels just underneath. So we don't have that information, sadly, because BCP doesn't support a knockout type tournament. We're just going off what we know. So we're trying to cover as much as possible, and Tanky's been going around like a legend, finding out about all the games that are still being played and finding out who's won and who's lost. We know that Malik won in his first turn. We know that James McKenzie ended up dropping out because he made a big mistake, which cost him. It was basically he made a mistake, which was if he would have carried on, it would have been a bit unsportsman. So he just said, "The game's yours, fair play." So have we got an update about table 1?
Table 1, yeah.
Go for it.
Just before Toby tries to describe things as they go into me live, we are told that the Acolytes have been killed.
Okay, all of them.
So they've gone, the Acolytes have gone. Okay. And a Smash Captain has got a charge off on the bikes.
Nice.
So they'll be rendered useless.
Yeah, exactly. So they won't be able to shoot, but the thing is, be able to kill quite a few of them as well, which is really good. So
hopefully I'm going to get some info about what's crack-a-lacking on the table.
Yep. Do we know if there's much happening on table 2?
Smash Captain has killed 5 bikes on table 1.
Wow. Okay.
So big
all hit, all
opening swing.
That's really, really good. Really, really good.
So Toby's going to direct us.
Toby's giving us the full information. I want to say massive shout out to Toby and Dan, who are table bossing. So they're like up on the table. They're trying to feed all the information.
So apart from these characters, everything else is in combat. Is that what we're saying?
I see Frankie doesn't have a lot left. He's got this unit here, big unit.
Oh, apologies. There's a single Acolyte left alive.
One whole Acolyte.
Yeah.
What a legend. So, what? It looks like Tank's getting bought beer and we're not.
Tank's being brought drinks, yeah. Tank's being looked after.
It's because we're sat down miles away. Because we're miles away out in the corner. Keep baby in the corner.
Tank gets a pint.
Everyone's effing and blinding about that.
Everyone's very upset.
Where's our beer? He's just walking around
This
chatting.
is the worst trade deal in...
Right, that's it. Next game, I'm being a reporter. I want a free beer. So.
It's because he looks the smartest out of us.
He does. He is the dapperest. So I think we're going to get an update from table 2 from Dan. Big old Dan is going to give us an update. So let's cut over and have a look what's left, and I'll try and see what we can see. See what's happening. I know there's a repulsor left. There's a repulsor, there's a couple of units of eliminators, and Marnius the Centurion, who's running off up here, up towards the drop pod. He's going that way. So we have 2 tactical squads there with both combi melters and melter guns in those units. And then we have a couple of intercessors back there as well. But the slap lane, which is in the bottom corner, down here, the slap lane, which is here. I apologise about my drawing, it's terrible.
So
he's
Josh
in combat
has
with
done...
Thunderfire.
Josh has done the clever thing and essentially he's...
No, Frank, Josh has done the clever thing.
Yeah, Josh has done the clever thing and outmaneuvered Steve's aggressors. Yeah, because they're slap bang in the middle of the board. So Josh has pulled off to the sides. It means it's really hard for him to get that double tap off. Which is obviously very strong. So now the aggressors have gotten out of their...
Trusty repulsor.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking at a 10-inch charge, and Calgar is also off to make a charge as well. So Steve's having a bit of an all-or-nothing round here.
Yeah, it is still really close on the points. If he hits hard enough, then it'd be...
he could pull this off.
Yeah.
It was going to be tough.
But he was ready to call it, so who knows?
I think you should always stay in them games when you're starting to think, no, I could get... Because you're not always seeing the whole picture. You can get down, your head can go down, your morale goes down, and you sit there, maybe walk away from the board for 5 minutes, come back, and you'll see something different.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. So he might be able to come back. I mean, if Josh was like 10, 15 points ahead, you'd be like, okay, I'll call it. It's done. But at this point, you may as well stay in the game. There's no harm in staying in the game at this point. That's what I'd say. So Steve has still got a repulsor. He's still got quite a bit left, to be fair. It's just he's lost his Leviathan, he's lost the Tigerius, which isn't good. And Joshua still has lots and lots of counter-striking units. He's still got a Dreadnought, he's still got 3 Hunters, he's got the Drop Pod and those Tactical Marines. But I think the Tactical Marines have probably had it, unless they get really lucky in Overwatch. But we'll just have to see. So the secondaries are pretty low scoring, 1 point from each of the... Well, 2 points from Steve, 3 points from Josh, but spread across 3 secondaries. So I think we're going to get a full update from Table 1 in a moment, or Table 2. Table 1 or 2. So what we'll do is we'll cut back to Table 1 and see what's happening.
So there's some interesting things going on this table. Innis has essentially maxed out his secondaries. I believe his engineers are dead, so he can't score any more engineer points. Yep. But his other secondaries, he's scored them all. Okay. He's maxed them out.
We should say that the points aren't currently live because the software has crashed. So it is. We're gonna. What's the score, Toby?
It is. So Innis now has 22. So it's 22 to 18.
Okay. Going into Frankie's turn.
So
5.
Frankie needs to score 4. Frankie's struggling because he chose behind enemy lines, and Innis has done a lot to keep him out of his deployment zone. So,
yeah, exactly.
So Frankie's struggling.
Yeah, that's the thing with this deployment. It's very easy to cover it with that many bodies. Yeah. Obviously, there's only 3 battalions right now.
I've just been told the 5th battle round has ended. Okay. Toby's just going to total the scores up for us, and then we'll move into battle round 6 on Table 1.
Yeah. And I apologise again, the scores aren't going to be live at this point. We're going to have to fix the app after this. But we're doing all right. We're doing all right. Technical issues. Thanks to Josh DeBauer from ITC Battles. He's been a legend and helped me sort this out. But the score is currently 23 to what, Elliot?
Is it 23-23?
It's 23 to 23.
It's a draw going into turn 6.
Wow. Okay,
this is spicy.
We bringing you the hottest action of 40k this weekend. I think probably the only stream this weekend as well for 40k.
Yep.
Maybe. Think about it. Probably.
Probably.
If you're not interested in 40k though, tomorrow there will be an AOS stream run by the Honest Wargamer, Mr. Rufio Symes himself, with Mr. Scrivo. So. But yeah, so round 6, Innis's turn 6, his final turn, it's a draw. That is spicy.
So it's 23-23, but that doesn't show it in the best light. So Innis has essentially maxed out his secondaries and his engineers are dead, so he's playing for primaries right now.
Kills and holds.
Yeah, whereas Frankie still has options within his secondaries. He still has recon, he still has behind enemy lines that he can be playing for.
He certainly does.
So he has more scoring potential than Innis.
But if Innis can kill everything, just kill it all. Classic Warhammer. Classic Warhammer, just kill everybody. Does Frankie have anything left in reserve? I don't think Frankie has anything.
We'll know probably within 10-15 minutes.
Yeah. So does Frankie have anything left in reserve? So no, everything's on the board. This is all or nothing now.
Just have to see whether he has anything in the metaphysical tank. His stamina.
The stamina tank. It is only round 2 of a 4-round event today. There's another event tomorrow, which is the main GT, but also the final of this event is tomorrow evening. We'll be bringing all the action from there. Thank you very much, everyone tuning in at home. We're going to be live all weekend for you. After this, we've got 8 more games, Elliot. It's a sad thought.
Only 8.
You think like there's so much Warhammer that's great, but it's like, oh my god, that's so
Only
much
8 more
talking.
games.
Only 8 more games. Which is just great, boys. So it looks like Innis has just made a charge with what unit's just charged, Toby? The unit eliminators is just charged in, just to tie up those bikes, stop them shooting. So, and it looks like he's going to make another charge. Oh, he's just fighting in combat now.
It's a really quick update. We don't need to swap over to table 2, but Steven's eliminators have opened up, and Steve is continuing to not be able to roll dice. His eliminators haven't been able to do anything.
Steve needs to become a personal trainer in rolling dice, I think.
Maybe he needs to buy some.
Maybe he needs to go to hellstormwargaming.co.uk/shop,
premium signature dice.
buy some special Hellstorm dice, some Toby signatures, or some minty dice, as we've now dubbed them.
Exactly.
So,
Chapter Master Valorant, I thought this started on Saturday. Now that would be the Grand Tournament Open.
yes,
The GT Open.
yes, this is the Invitational.
Yes.
If you weren't so busy looking for lost Primarchs and whether they're going to come out next, then you would have known that it was starting on Friday. So welcome, Chester Match Valrak. How you doing, dude? So we're going to cut to table 2, where we have found out that Steve Box does not know how to
last chance
roll dice.
saloon here. This has got to be the charge of the Light Brigade. If the aggressors don't get in and Calgar can't get in, we think Steve has had it.
Yeah.
So it's all to play for.
One Salty John. Thank you very much for follow, dude. Is it currently turn 4, Dan? So
Josh is rolling super hot. He's charging the repulsor.
okay. He's had it, I think.
Innes has scored 2 points as well in his last turn, so that
So
puts
kill one and hold
his
one.
final score on 25.
I don't think he'll be able to win that one with that score.
I think Frankie's going to be able to do more than that.
Frankie has to kill a unit, hold an objective, and hold more than one objective to win the game. That'd be it. Or kill more than Innis did, which I imagine he
So
will be
they're
able
just
to.
going through the final scores now. I don't think Frankie's played his turn.
Okay.
Which I think means Frankie's got it, because he's just going to leave it where he is. He'll just score more.
Yeah, so all he's got to do is kill a unit and hold 2 objectives, or get behind enemy lines, or get recon.
Yeah.
He does not need to hold much. So I think these guys are just going to work out the final strategy, get a side head view.
Steve, I believe, is still charging stuff over there on
yeah, so
table 2.
We're just doing the final score. Here we go. We got both players on screen. See, we did it. We got both players on screen. It's Frankie's arm and Innis's at shoulder, but they're both on screen at the same time. So, Toby's going to give us full updates. We need to find out what Frankie can do to win. He kills a unit, he gets recon, and holds an objective. That's it. I think
Big
that's all he
news
needs
from
to do.
table 2.
Sure.
There's been a CP reroll for the aggressor's charge, and they've got a 12-inch charge and have made it in.
Wow.
Go on, Steve. This is where your 6s have been hiding.
They're the 6ers. You've remembered how to roll dice. So the aggressors are in combat with all 3 stalkers, shut down all of that shooting. You know it's serious when the tank dot comes out. Yeah,
So,
I'm trying to make sure that Steve doesn't get his nipples out. That's the main concern for
Just
this
been
stream.
told as well. Sorry this is all happening. On table 1, Frankie simply has to kill 1 unit to secure the win.
Wow, okay, let's watch that table. He gets kill 1, he gets hold 1 and hold more. That's him winning. So all he
he's
needs
got-
to do is kill 1. So what's
He's
he
got
shooting?
27 Brood Brothers.
Yes.
I also thought I call them Blood
Guardsmen,
Brothers.
essentially.
Willie Russell, what a
Blood
great
Brothers.
play.
Yeah.
Firing at 1 Smash Captain.
How many wounds does Smash Captain have?
About 5 if they're at full health. I don't know what
He
he's...
doesn't have a dice next to him, so I presume he's on full health.
So they've got to do 5
Here we go.
wounds.
Hopefully that's not all the shooting he's doing, because I don't think that'll do it. So, okay, let's get all the dice ready first. Here we go. Falls to hit. Mr. Kapowski, thank you very much for following, dude. Welcome. Here we go. It's a big old roll, this one. Looks like he's missed 7 or 8, 9, 12, 11 times. Four saves on the Smash Captain. Toby, do you know what's actually shooting, mate?
So he's rolling all the Brood Brothers
All the
together.
Brood Brothers. Yeah, so well, basically, what we're going to do, we're going to watch this game, and then we're going to cut into into tank to give an update and everything else. So, can he kill this Smash Captain? It's
Can
big.
he do it?
It's big. One save.
Both games are just wrapping up right now. All he's got to do is kill a Smash Captain to win. And Steve's trying to get some charges up.
Looks like he's going to charge.
Both games.
It's a charge. He's going to go and try and punch him in combat.
So I've just been told that, he survived on 2 wounds,
Yeah.
and now everything is charging into him.
Which it makes sense. He's got so many attacks. Innis can't interrupt at this point. It's just roll loads of dice, fail a couple of 3 up armor saves, and you're done.
Yeah.
That's it. But if
good
Innis
effort, though.
makes every single one of his saves, it's a draw. How close is that? This is big. This is big. Let's cut to the side view. So you can see we've got the Smash Captain just there. That's the Smash Captain who needs to live. So you've got all the attacks coming in now.
And also, just on the side, on table 2, Calgar has also made his charge. So both the
God.
aggressors and Calgar are in.
Okay. We just got to line up all these attacks. What's going in first? Toby's watching the wrong game, so never mind. What's attacking first, Toby?
He can't interrupt, he doesn't have enough command points,
So he's just attacking
doing it
with
all
everything.
together.
Okay. Here we go, saves.
He lives.
He lives.
He lives.
He lives to tell the
He's
tale.
going to try and kill the squad.
But that'll mean that Innis will kill 2 units and Frankie will kill nothing
Kill more.
and get kill more. That means he'll win.
That's the game. Let's see if he can do it.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is like so tense. Oh.
So the aggressors have just punched the hunter on
Yeah.
table 2 and killed it.
They've just shook hands. Who won? Did Innis or Frankie win? Innis won.
Innis has
denied
won.
that kill one. Got kill more. Innis takes the win by 1 whole point.
That is fantastic.
What an absolute
That is liquid
crazy
Warhammer.
game. That we were like, oh my god, Frankie's won, but he didn't. He lost. Innis won by 1 whole point. Did not survive the Smash Captain and wins by 1 point.
Fantastic.
Oh my lord.
So,
What a play there in the
Toby, tell
closing
us all about
seconds.
hi guys, it's Toby here from the table. Basically, what happened is Frankie had about 19 attacks with 3 units of Brew Brothers in combat. All Innis had to do was fail 2 saves, and Frankie would have got kill more and won the game.
Yeah.
But what happened? Innis survived. He swung back into a unit of 6 Brew Brothers, 5 hits, 5 dead, 1 morale, and he rolled a 6 on his morale. So the unit ran, and that also took him off an objective as well. So Innis ended up winning by like 2 or 3 points because
So
he
you
gets
only
hold
got
more, kill more.
kill more and hold more.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
There you go. Hot action from the London knockout tournament. So Innis will be going through to the 3rd round.
I believe that game would finish on 26-24 to Innis then.
Wow.
If my maths is
Yeah,
right.
That sounds about right.
What a close game. Obviously, we'll
Amazing.
finalise scores for you in a few minutes, but
There you go. So thank you very much to those players. So table 2, it looks like
an
Steve-
aggressor has popped. The aggressor unit has popped a hunter.
Yeah, which is just happening in this top right, which is happening here. There was a hunter there, not a stalker, I apologise. And she's just finishing up his combats with Calgar, I believe. So why don't we? Shall we get a full update from Tank from the rest of the event, and then I'll try and organise an interview as well. So quick update from Tank for the rest of the event coming up.
Yeah, so the non-stream games are coming to a are we on? Non-stream games coming to a conclusion. Some close games over there too. Simon Pridis beating Joe Milan by 29-28. A very exciting game there. Mark Cromblehome, George White had a real last 2-turn rally. Managed to turn it round. George White beats Mark Cromblehome 29-28 as well. Conrad smashed Reese 36-18. Good spirited game, but the White Scars just couldn't handle the Eldag planes going first, and good zoning play by Conrad. The only game still going on is Nick Nanavati and Boris Mitchev. They're still playing, but from what I understand from the guys playing, that Nick Nanavati is going to win that game. There's no way back into the game for Boris, and they're just kind of playing it out for fun now. So yeah, there's your winners from the non-stream, and we'll take you back to the Space Marine off.
Thank you very much, Tank, for that update of the Invitational Knockout Tournament live at the London Grand Tournament this weekend. My name is Mike, and I'm joined by Elliot. Hi, Elliot.
Hello.
Are you okay? You having a great time?
Yeah, I'm good. There's been some good Warhammer.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Table 2 for a bit, but...
I do have some more info from them.
Table 2, what's happening? So we are live in London. This is the Invitational. There was 16 players. We just have Innis versus Frankie. Frankie Giampapa Daddy. Dungeon Master, whatever his name was. So Innis just won by 1 point by Frankie not being able to kill one Smash Captain on 2 wounds in combat with 27 attacks. Tank is wearing sleeves today, yeah, it's very weird. So, just double check what the chat is. So we're going to have an update from Table 2.
Yeah, so Calgar left the drop pod on 1 wound.
Ah, okay. That's the Calgar, the Centurion of the Ultramoons.
Yeah.
Which is in the top
So
middle.
he's left that on 1 wound.
Yeah.
So that's pretty bad.
That's big.
He has shut down the shooting because he's touching all of the hunters.
Yeah.
But he's touching everything. So he's held them all up in combat, which is nice.
Nice.
But is that enough?
I don't know.
Is that enough?
You tell me.
They're going to go into another round. His damage rolls just haven't been good enough, Stevens, which is a shame.
See, Marnius Calgar's really good in combat, but the D3 damage is really whiffy, which is a bit of a shame. So it can be swingy. I mean, he's really tough to kill. He does reduce all damage by 1.
Yeah.
Which is super strong. Space Marine versus Space Marines. The game is going to be 75% of the tournament tables by the end of October. The future is now. Yeah, exactly. So I am a long-time Space Marine player. Currently, before the scores get added
I'm
this
happy.
weekend,
I mean, when I joined in 7th edition, it was like 50% Eldar players at every tournament. So
yeah.
I'm happy that it's at least a human.
I'm currently 4th in the world.
That's taken
for now. I've been playing Space Marines in the Dark Ages. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. So again, this game is interesting because this game was due to be wrapped up after like turn 3. We're currently in turn 4 now, and Steve's still piling ahead, jumping into those units, trying to smash them up. So what's happening?
So I believe Calgar's going to honour the chapter and fight again, or whichever
makes sense, yeah.
Whichever one it is.
So fight again into the drop pod for 3 CP. So they're both down to 1 now.
Everyone managed to cobble together and you give Calgar 1 wound, but it wasn't enough to kill him, so he's going to fight again.
No, exactly. Which is really good. There you go. So Steve's out of CP now. It's 7 to 9, but there we go. Does it blow? No, it doesn't. So I think that's the drop pod dead. Oh, he's fighting with the aggressors. I thought he was fighting with Marnius. We're going to find out. What's fighting? Calgar is fighting again. Cool. So roll to hit. Freeze re-rolling. And then
So 2 attacks into the drop pod and the rest go into the yellow squad.
Okay, cool. That's what my confusion. I apologise. So the drop pod is destroyed. So there's just a tactical squad left in combat with Marnius. But Marnius has taken a few wins in the tactical squad. There you go. That's what's happening. Thank you for the random numbers. SW Legion Command. Appreciate it. Basically, we should play no strat index hammer for 2 years or so while Orcs GSC have fun to get a real sense of Dark Ages.
That sounds like a lot of crying.
Dude, Saint, Josh, appreciate it, dude. Wicked. So there's been a few updates, so I'll sort that after this game. Thanks, Josh. I really, really appreciate it. So Josh, in the chat there, Mr. Saint21214. Was that right? I can't really see it from here.
21214.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is Josh who made the ITC Battles app, which is what we're using for the stream today. So thank you very much for that, dude. Really appreciate it.
If we could just get an update down on what's happening on table 2, because it looks like there's a lot of chatting going on.
Lots and lots of chatting, not a lot of dice rolling anymore.
I think they may be totting final scores up.
Yeah. Yeah, they were the first ones to get the stratagems. This is true. They had 2 months before all the other characters came out and just slapped them.
God, 2 months.
2 months they had.
2 months of pain.
Yeah. So we are going to get a full update of Table 2. What is happening, Danny? Who's James? Who's James? The guy in the suit. Josh, your app is amazing. I agree, that app is really good. The thing is competitive 40k Space Marines have been out of it for quite a while, so now they've finally got a codex, they are more relevant.
And we can't expect GW to release every codex on the same day.
Yeah.
That would be ridiculous.
I do appreciate that Orcs obviously were waiting a long time, but Space Marines had a codex for a couple of months, and then we're out of competitive 40k for about a year, so there we go. So it looks like it's going to be Josh's turn. He's still got the Hunter left. He's still got the Stalkers left. They're the Scorpius and the Hunter. Sorry. Yeah. Have we got an update of Table 2?
No, we just got Tank winding us up with his beer.
So Tank got a beer from James, one of the head judges, and no one else did. He'll share his beer. Thanks, mate. Sloppy seconds. Appreciate it.
That's a very Tau approach.
Yes. So it looks like Steve has had enough. Dan's going to get a full update of what's happening and tell us all about it. I apologise. It's been a bit ad hoc at the minute because these games are so close, and we're trying to find out exactly what's happening so we can give you the full update. Of what's
it's easy to speculate, but you don't want to do that.
Yeah. It's doing really well. How about Jay? Thank you very much for the host, dude. Really appreciate it. So Danny's finally updating us. Thank you very much, dude. So it looks like we've got Marnie's Calgar. It's just the tactical squad is coming out of combat there. The tanks have come out of combat with the aggressors, but they're not going to be able to shoot. But obviously, you know, next turn maybe. It is currently at 11-11 going into turn 4. But there's only 15 minutes left on the clock.
Oh. So because the Tech Marine died, that took the Thunderfire cannons off with them as well. So we ended up scoring a load of secondaries.
Right, okay. So, because obviously he had the Slapling. Let's go top down.
So I believe he got Big Game Hunter and Headhunter in there.
Yeah, because we had the Slapling here. So he killed the Tech Marines, which is Headhunter, and then it's just kill units as well. So really, really good. Really, really strong turn from Josh. And it was obviously in his turn as well. So it was in Steve's turn rather than his own in combat. So maybe I'll get Tank to do an interview with Innes and Frankie now.
Yeah, while they're sort of wrapping up their game.
Hey, Tank. If Danny can get Tank's attention, can you get Tank's attention, please? Tank, can you do an interview? Yeah. So rather than us like waiting around watching this game, it's just a lot of movement. What I'll do, we'll get an interview with Innes and Frankie from FLG. So, are you guys comfy? You ready to go? Cool, let's go. So let's have an interview with Innes and Frankie.
Hello everyone, you've just seen a cracking game by all accounts between Innes and Frankie. I didn't get to watch much of the game myself because I was running about getting updates for you, so I'll leave it to these two capable chaps to give you their take on the game and what the highlights were. Who'd like to go first?
Go on, I'll not make Frankie describe how he lost because it's just painful. So basically, we sat about for 3 turns, just sort of waiting with the Phobos captain with the 15-inch deep strike aura to move out of position and then get charged. So we basically just sat around. I shot guardsmen. He failed to kill scouts, which was great. And then everything dropped in, and kind of the game exploded all at once. And then all my stuff just died whenever it got touched by Gene Stealer cults.
I was able to kind of claw my way back in there in the middle turns, but from the very beginning, Enos was in complete control of the game. Like you had board control, your army was in the center, you had the no deep strike within 15, you were screening out really well in your backfield. Enos played an amazing game and an excellent opponent too. Like,
yeah, and when he's done buttering me up, we can go and have a couple of drinks.
yeah, exactly.
Short and sweet, but yeah, thanks a lot, fellas. Does anyone... You're Frontline Gaming, aren't you, Frankie? Yeah. So if you want to see more of Frankie, you can go there. Do you have a YouTube channel or anything? Or anything, anywhere you want to send anyone?
Team Scotland Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, Team Scotland Warhammer 40k. So yeah, thanks a lot, fellas, and we'll keep an eye out for Innis in the next round.
Oh yeah,
Go and have a beer, lads, and enjoy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Tank, for doing that interview. And thank you for Innis and Frankie for coming on for the interview as well.
What a fantastic game.
Yeah, it was a really good game. They kept it short and sweet. They were like, look, Innis did really well. Frankie didn't do quite so well. Innis won. That was it. So you needed them. That's basically what happened in that interview. So there you go. Silky's camp. Yes, indeed. So it's me, Mikey, and Elliot on commentating duties. Toby was doing table bossing, but now he's going to help out with Dan. So this is table 2. This is Joshua Death versus Stephen Box. We are live at the Invitational Knockout Tournament. After this round, there will be only 8 players remaining out of the 32 we started with this morning. So 8 players, only 4 tables to cover. So it is a knockout tournament. We currently have Stephen Box and Joshua Death both using Marine list. Steve is using an Ultramarines list. He was going to call it after turn 2. He's still playing, and now it's a draw, which is interesting to say he's going to lose it. He has just lost 2 of his Thunderfire cannons. He still has Marnies, Calgon 1 wound, he has repulsors, and then had loads of aggressors up front with some intercessors.
He's doing well.
So Marnies is on 6 wounds. He took 1 wound, I apologise. It's because I can see the one and they're counting up like weirdos. Who does that? Guys in the chat, do you count up with dice for wounds or count down? That's the question. I count down.
I count down.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you'd count up. It doesn't make sense to me, but there you
Occasionally, if it's something like an Imperial Knight has taken 1 wound, and I can't find a D20, I'll just put like a one wound on it.
Hobo J, the Preacher counts down as well. Marley counts up. Of course he does.
Yeah,
of course he does.
I expect nothing less from that man.
Yeah. So, as I said, we're looking like we're close to finishing this game. Steve doesn't have... He's still commanding the field currently, but Josh is like killing everything. So it's like all or nothing. Like at this point, he charged up with the aggressors into the hunters, sorry, trying to shut them down. There's still a relic Scorpius in the building hiding, but there's some aggressors just down the outside, which is probably going to be charging in. Double O Donut says some players will count up since it's been ingrained from past editions. However, I count down. There you go. Double O Donut's probably right, to be fair. Only when playing AOS. Well, that makes sense because you have the way their damage table works, but there you go. Interesting. So, I think we're going to have an update from Danny about what's happening in this game. We have a full update of all of the drama on table 2. Let's get a side view. But you see, it's still quite a lot left. I mean, Steve has a lot in this L-shaped building. Josh still has the tactical squad and lots of 3 tanks and a dreadnought still chilling, having a great time. But Steve does have the repulsor, which is going to be quite tough to shift. Yes, the bro is strong with Mr. Team Box. If you saw the press conference video, we made sure everyone knew about that. So, Team Box, bro.
What was the last one, Dan? So that did 2 damage to the repulsor.
We're going to find out. So the repulsor's taken some damage.
Yeah, so there's just a bit of shooting going on. So Josh got a smite off, as well as I believe the Overwatch power. I believe Dan was trying to tell us.
Okay. So it'd be
some kind of psychic power.
Storm Reeve.
Yeah, Storm Reeve. I thought he was an Imperial Fist though, not a White Scar.
He's got a White Scar.
He's got a little White Scar detachment, hasn't he?
Yes, he has a Librarian on bike. And a Librarian in Phobos armor.
So the Leviathan fired into the intercessors, but only managed to kill 1. So Stephen's got some luck on his dice all of a sudden.
Okay.
And the conversion beamer fired at the repulsor was only able to do 2 damage to it.
Wow. Okay.
So not doing a lot.
Because he has 2 Tech Marines with 2 conversion beamers in his list. So it is super close, this one, to say they were going to call it, but they do only have 8 minutes left. So 8 minutes left for this round.
So the Librarian, the intercessors, and the Slaplin have all charged.
Wow. Okay.
And have all made their charges as well, sorry.
Ouch. Ouch indeed. So I'm surprised as well. I said with this game, like Steve was going to call it quite early, which was interesting. So Pyrothenia, if you drop down into the panels, you can see all of the lists that are currently on stream. So you'll be able to see what these guys are using. We obviously don't have a lot left, but there you go. So it's 3 objectives, just spread out evenly across the board. It looks like the slap plane of Josh's is holding is in Steve's back deployment zone. But yeah, there's still quite a lot. There's still quite a few points left to be scored. So, do we know what shooting, Elliot? Danny's slacking. He's tired, bless him. He's had a long day.
So I believe the chaplain's hitting the lieutenant.
Okay.
Lieutenant's dead.
Lieutenant is dead.
So now the librarian dreadnought is hitting the aggressors.
The librarian dreadnought?
I was going to say, there isn't a librarian dreadnought. A librarian on bike.
Are you tired,
He
Dan?
thinks he's a dreadnought.
Dan, come and get a can of Monster, mate. Powered by Monster this weekend, big time. We've been up since 5:30 this morning to set up the stream, and it's it's 5 o'clock. So we've been up 12 hours currently. Yeah. Has Crystal Tom been on the stream? Yes, he was on game 1 this morning against Nick Nanavati. Gave him a proper run for his money. So, gave him a proper run for his money, and also almost lost. So.
Let's.
So we're going to get an update from Dan.
So the intercessors are shooting the aggressors now.
Okay.
Attacking the aggressors in combat.
Okay. What turn is it, Dan? Do you know what turn it is? Turn 3. It's currently turn 3, lads. I apologise, I was on looking over the wrong score.
No, there is only 5 minutes left in the round.
Yeah, which is going to be super close. I'm not really sure what time left we've got on the clock, so, but we'll see. It doesn't look like a lot left. The thing is we started this round a little bit late as well. I mean, we personally came on a little bit late, but I think the players did as well. So, I didn't know ITC Battles had a PC app. So we are using ITC Battles, but it's got PC app as well, which is super cool. But we're using that to keep up with the score. So thank you very much to Josh, who was watching the stream. He's been helping me out with this, which has been super cool of him. So it looks like he's just piling in, trying to bubble wrap so he can't get shot. So he's piling in with the intercessors to bubble wrap the librarian. Sorry, the lieutenant, not the librarian. Talking rubbish. It's difficult because there's lots of blue
there. So we've got an aggressor
is...
going into the librarian dreadnought /bike.
It's difficult as well because it's just all blue over there. So.
Right, so he is dead, the librarian and bike, and that's a headhunter.
That is a headhunter, yeah. Close game this one. How come they only got to turn 3? They are using a chess clock, but I'm not really sure, to be honest.
I think there's been lots of querying of rules, etc.
Yeah,
been going on. It seemed like quite a slow game.
Yeah, it was slow to get into. We probably waited for like an hour before we actually started properly watching it. So, Astartes at the LGT, a lot of Marine players this weekend. Astartes are super, super strong. They are only going to get better with more supplements that come out, so we'll see. You know, we got the Iron Hands and Ravenguard on pre-order tomorrow.
Suck it up, Xenos.
Yeah, exactly. It's our time to shine. I don't care what anyone says.
Exactly.
Back in the sunlight. We were in the sunlight once, but we're back in it, so there you go. So, yeah. What do you think about the Astartes this weekend, Elliot?
I think everyone's more terrified of them than the Warrant. I think in the right hands, they look amazing, but you've got to remember that the majority of players that are here are already the right hands.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they probably seem like they're playing really, really well, but you've got to remember they're in the hands of people who are really really good Warhammer players on paper.
This is the tournament. This is the Invitational. So this is 32 of the best players in the world playing.
Like, I think there's lots of you can get very upset in 40k about lists and armies. At the end of the day, it's about the pilot.
Yeah,
isn't it? I mean, you could bring the most broken list. If you don't know how to use it, you're still going to be rubbish with it. So, yeah, some armies are stronger than others. Marines are in a good place, but Marines were in a pretty rubbish place for a long time. I mean, like, do you remember? I remember Index Dracari and Index Guard when 8 first dropped, and people were using full tank lists, and no one had any idea how to counter it.
No,
and
exactly.
Dracari, when they were first got their codex, it was insane.
Yeah, Talos at 90 points or whatever they were, which is just daft.
So I've just been told that they have timed out in that game, but it is 15-12 to Josh.
Okay, so there you go. So Josh takes the win.
Yeah, so a bit anticlimactic. I think the game's ended due to time constraints as opposed to them actually getting to the end of the game.
To the end, yeah. 32 of the best. Where's Jay? Well, we have seen the Mr. Mohawk knocking about. He's kind of wandering around. So what we're going to do is they're just going to talk out the final points. Dan's going to come. Does Dan want to come over and tell us all about the game? We'll have a chat. No, he's not. He's tired. He's had enough. So that is it. So what I'll do, I'll get, if we could get Tank to do an interview then, if that's okay. Dan? Get Tank to do an interview. So we'll cut back to us. You ready?
Yep.
So there you go. A bit anticlimactic for that final game, but what, again, 2 fantastic games in the round 2
really
of the
good games, yeah.
So I'll do it with a tie. I'm looking very unprofessional.
Where's mine? Mine's slid down as
There
well.
you go. Just use your beard to hide it.
Yep.
So, are these posted anywhere? So the lists that are on stream are in the panel below, but the lists in the actual event are on Facebook on the LGT. So we don't have like a printed list. We don't have a website or anything like that. So that is a bit of an issue. Let's have a talk out the final points. Yeah, so they're just working out the final score, and then I'm going to get Tank to do an interview with both Josh and Steve. So they're just setting up. So what did you think, Elliot?
My favourite of the games was Table 1.
Yeah, it was really slow starting, but then you got into
it got a while to get into it.
I think that was both tables, to be fair.
That was such a climactic ending.
Yeah. So Josh is commanding the camera. Let's go and have an interview with those guys.
Hello. So I'm with the 2 players from the top table here, Josh Deff and Steve Box.
That's my cardio in for the day. That's my nutrition company, man. It's VT.
No, I was running about, so I didn't get a chance to watch this game, but I heard it was really close. So we're going to carry on with what we've been doing and just give it to the guys to run you through their take on it in the highlights. So without further ado, who's going first?
Stephen.
Yeah,
I'm going first. I'm making you go first. Are you making me go first? Again.
I mean, feel free to keep swapping and changing. But
yeah. I mean, game was absolutely fantastic, and we had some great back and forths. Really good back and forth. Because me and Josh get on so well, we're just having a good laugh, really, weren't we? So a fantastic game, great fun. Tactically, I feel like I played pretty well. I made
10 times more mistakes than you did.
I made one error, and that was just not pre-measuring that last unit of Rangers and forgetting you had that one guy left. I thought he was dead.
That was a mark for death.
Yeah, because I could have. Yeah, because I could have used my just sacked off the Libby and just shot with my 2. So that was a mistake there. And I'm not normally one to blame the dice roll, but I feel like that may have edged it in the favour.
Was bad. I mean, was it the reason he lost? No. Was it the reason it wasn't as solid of a game on both fronts as it could have been? Yes. Right, okay. It made it to where he was having to play uphill pretty much the whole game because the dice were just not. Right. Yeah. I mean, that first turn with the Leviathan was just kind of silly. The setting point. Yeah. I mean, when he pops the strat to do half damage, the hunters.
Oh, Nick, we're just live.
Sorry. I ended up. It was half damage, and I even moved one of the hunters. All 3 hit, all 3 wound. He fails 2 of the 3 saves, and I rolled 2 6s for damage. So even with the half damage, he still took 6 damage when he probably should have taken like 2.
And I also left Tiggy, didn't I? And I thought I cast my Mighty Heroes, make him T9, so he's wounding on 4s. So I thought I'll do all the right things, and those 2 last guys managed just to both move with a -1 to hit, still hit Tiggy, killed 2 guys, killed Tiggy, and it was just like, what is going on?
The Stalker Bolt, there's 2 guys shot and killed Tiggy. Yeah. Right there. I mean, that was kind of the tone from that turn 1. It was like, wow. Yeah. And his dice finally started to turn around on turn 4.
Just way too late.
Yeah, it was just way too late. I mean, I love the fact, though, and this is a testament to Steven on this, even with the dice going the way it were for the majority of the game, he did not give up at any point. I mean, even in turn 4, the reason it was only 15-12 is because he's like, you know what, I got this unit, I'm going to push out, I'm going to make this charge. Yeah. If he makes the charge, he locks up all 4 tanks, makes them fall back, silences 4 tanks. I mean, he still fought it all the way to the end. And it was only 15-12 because he refused to quit. Had we had another full battle round to play, I think dice going which way, it actually would have. I mean, he had a shot. He was guaranteed going to get Killmore next turn.
I'm going to get some kills that next turn. My characters are in close, and
a lot of my screens were gone. So,
yeah,
I mean, it was
my repulsor can basically we were just chatting that through at the end. Then this is obviously something that the repulsor is fantastic at. He can kill, and then he can charge, and I can tag his tanks that are going to do the damage back to me. So I've got a chance in that next turn. That chaplain making that charge, and me failing to kill the chaplain with my 2 characters.
That chaplain got 6 points that game on his own?
Yeah. Like that was game breaking, because otherwise I get the hold more. So I'm getting hold more and the kill more, but I was worried about that drop pod, so I tried to screen out as best as I can. Maybe I should have just really screened out in that corner, but I didn't actually think you would go for it.
Yeah, exactly. I almost didn't. I went back and forth for a bit. I'm like, the Thunderfires were good, but more importantly, it gives me a chance to take the backfield and lock them out, which is what was more important to me, because it was the Master of Snares Warlord trait. That Warlord trait saved it.
Both of them, you rolled a 4 on both, so or the one that mattered anyway. And obviously I was thinking he's probably not going to go here because it's a 50-50 chance. I don't know if and you took it and it paid off. And sometimes that happens. So especially when dice are going your way, maybe you feel a bit more like, I got
ballsy.
this.
Get ballsy. And you go for it. And that's exactly what it was. I was like, dice are kind of in my favor right now. Let's give it a shot. And that's really what it was.
But no, it's an absolute pleasure.
It was a beautiful game.
Great sportsmanship as well. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry we didn't get it all the way to turn 6, but we're very tight time here. And one thing, guys, it's been a fantastic event. I've absolutely loved it. Playing my first game was great. Terrain is fantastic. I'm actually going to go and pick up some of this terrain myself.
I was actually honestly contemplating. I'm probably going to have it shipped, but for a standard, if you just want a good competitive flow table, I have actually not played on as good because they don't favor anything. That's the thing I like about it. There's no one army that's favored here. Gunline armies, assault armies, well-rounded armies, they're all good. It doesn't favor flyers over tanks. Everything has a play here. Knights aren't screwed because it's overly bunched or whatever. So it's a beautiful flow of the terrain, and it all looks really good. It honestly looks amazing. It's beautiful look, beautiful flow, and it actually affects the game. That's the thing I like the most about this terrain is every piece of terrain on the table actually is affecting the game. And I was huge fan. The fact that you don't have to worry about choosing sides, let's just take that entire thing out of the play, I was really happy with that. So from last year to now, huge.
Oh, agree completely. Are we allowed to do a cheeky plug for us?
Yeah, so high praise indeed for the terrain. Is that Tabletop Scenics? Tabletop Combat, where people can get that if you like. And while we're plugging things, definitely Mr. Box has got a platform which you should go and check out if you want to hear more from him. And is that Vanguard Tactics?
Yeah, Vanguard Tactics is my YouTube channel, and basically I'll be doing a full LGT review at the end of this, including obviously the Invitational and I'll be doing that on a live on my channel, Vanguard Tactics. And basically the point of the channel is to help guys, get comfortable at the table. So if you're a club player thinking about coming to an event like this, hopefully the advice I give and through my emails and the tips and everything I do on the tactical videos will just help you feel, actually, I can come and have a good game. No matter who I play, whether you're playing Josh Death or you're playing Nick Nanavati with his Gene Stealer Cult, just so you feel like, okay, cool, I'm going to have a good game. And just to improve your play, that's all it's about. So Vanguard Tactics, I'd love it if you checked it out, guys. I really would.
Have you got anything you'd like to put out there, Josh?
I actually do. I do. I'm wearing the shirt here, representing. I actually am part of a podcast. I wish I would say that I was more a part, but I'm kind of the minor player. Shaylin Allen and Sean Morgan, a lot known as Abuse Puppy, is on Chapter Tactics a lot. We actually do a podcast called In the Finest Hour. It's just kind of you go on Podbean. I know that's one of the main places we do it, but the main thing, the focus of the podcast is every episode is less than an hour. So it's guaranteed less than an hour. And then on top of that, every episode we hit one topic, we cover that topic, and then we look 100% objectively at how can you use these topics to make yourself to get a better game. We're not like, hey, this sucks or this good. We don't really have bias towards, even though we all kind of have our factions and armies we like, the podcast is about the information. So we're not saying this sucks or you shouldn't do this. It's this is the information, you make the choice. And so that's kind of the general flow of it. And so if you ever want to check it out, it's In the Finest Hour.
And guys, definitely check out that podcast that Josh does. It is absolutely fantastic. You've got some cracking episodes on
Thank
there.
you. Appreciate that.
And I'm a big fan myself. And,
Thank you.
Guys from Hellstorm, fantastic job.
Right, lads.
Great job today, guys.
Thanks, it's been a pleasure, and good luck the rest of the weekend.
Anyway, Josh.
Thanks, everyone.
So there you go, guys.
We're back.
Team Vanguard Tactics, not Team Box, but Team Box probably. And Joshua Death from In the Finest Hour podcast. A fantastic game from those guys. Both played it super well. Both absolute legends.
Both had a tough game. Both had some bad dice.
They did. Yeah.
Managed, but saw it through. And as we saw there, they had the big hug at the end. They obviously enjoyed the game, and that's ace to see.
Which is super cool. Super, really, really good vibe. So for the rest of the day, let's talk about it. There's 2 more games today. We have round 3 and round 4. Round 3 started 7 minutes ago. So what's going to happen is...
Well, on paper it started 3 minutes ago, but I don't think anyone's actually started playing. So.
No. So what we're going to do, we're going to have Rickard Nielsen versus Nick Nanavati and Konrad Bartkowicz versus Malik Rubio.
Ooh, so we got some tasty games.
Team ex-team members fighting Spicy Beef, because Spicy Drama, Konrad and Malik were both on Team Draco, but they disbanded, and then Malik started a channel called Dice Down, which is his new team. And I don't know if Conrad's in that team because he's not wearing a t-shirt. So. Oh, he is in that team. Damn! No Spicy Drama.
That was going to be so much more interesting.
So
they're not in a team. Shh.
They are not in a team in this. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a break. We're going to have a quick refreshment break while we rejig everybody. We're going to have Toby and Elliot commentating on the next game, probably in about half an hour. So let's say at 20 to 6 local time, so in 30 minutes, that's when we're going to try and go live for the next game. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. We've been Hellstorm. We'll be back in half an hour.
See you soon.
Bye. See an advert from Bad Moon Cafe.